Hey, guys. Happy Thursday. Welcome back. Great to see you all here with us tonight. I hope everybody had a great day. Hopefully, this is the last time I got to do a night show for a while. I'm hoping to have my system fixed by tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So, welcome back, guys. Tonight, guys, we're looking at the results that have come back in regards to the Kansas City 3. We're going to talk about that and a few other things to start off with tonight, just to set some things straight. I appreciate you all being here so very much. And I say, like I always say, let's get this show on the road. Here we go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here tonight. Great to be back with you. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening, and I hope you all had an amazing, absolute amazing day today. It's wonderful to see you all tonight, and thank you all for joining us. Like I said in the title, we're going to delve into toxicology in regards to the Kansas City 3. Talk about some stuff we had talked about before in regards to that. And we're also going to look at, we're going to start off talking about something else right off the get. That's kind of important, in my opinion, and it needs to be put in the right mode. So, and be understood. That's important, in my opinion. Sorry about my camera angle, folks. I'm trying to, that's better. There we go. I don't think you guys want to see me like this, although you may not want to see any of my face. Who knows? Anyway, it's a great to have you here. Moderators, thank you for joining me tonight as well. I appreciate everything you guys do. We got 62 peeps and 36 likes. Guys, if we can, please let's make that match so we can get this out into the algorithm. And don't forget, guys, to leave some comments because that's what YouTube loves. Where did it go? But yeah, my apologies again, everybody. I know a lot of people prefer the daytime stuff, and I actually I don't mind doing both. I haven't been able to do a lot during the day because my monitor is messed up along with my system. So I'm waiting on something to get here, and I'm praying to God, fingers crossed, that fixes fixes my issue. sorry guys. And then in that sense, I can start doing the normal stuff again. So come on in, grab a chair, grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be, and please come on in and have a conversation with me. I do appreciate y'all so very much. I hope you understand. Again, we got 61 people in here with their now likes. Please share this out, guys. Let's get it out there. Let's see who we got joining us so far. Looks like Miss Joanne is in the house. Chad Button, welcome. War Eagle is in the house. Roll Tide Roll. Thank you for being here, dear. Let's see. Kelly Barrison. I'm sorry if I never say that right. My apologies, dear. Welcome, Kelly. Great to have you. Just snooping. Great to see you. Let me see. Lucia Olson, thank you for joining us tonight. It's great to have you here. Great to see you. Moonlit Baby, welcome back. Great to see you. Miss Brandy B, the OG's in the house. Thank you for joining us, Brandy. It's great to have you here tonight, as always. Miss Carolyn Miller, it's always a pleasure, dear. Thank you for joining us. Let me see. Tina B, welcome back to you. Looks like the thick infant has joined us, folks. Fat Baby Toodles, welcome back to you. 12. What's going on? Miss Tina B, I think I said that already. Natalie B, welcome back. Good to see you. Good to have you. Marion Ann Bays, welcome. First times. Love seeing the new faces. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let me see. The thick infant. Yes. Always, Carolyn. Always a pleasure. Kimberly KV, welcome back to you. Great to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Batten's Lifestyle Collecting. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Miss Star Meadows Blues. Welcome back. Great to see you. Always a pleasure to see you, Firefly. Thank you for joining us. Annie Peterson, same for you. Thank you for joining us. And guys, on your way in that door, please, if you will, leave just a little bit of DNA on that like button. That way I can come find you later, if you will. Appreciate that so very much. Lisa Wilson, great to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure. Just snooping. Okay, I think that's that. Space Chunky 69, great to see you. A lot of sirens there tonight. What's going on, Star? Come on. Come on in. Come on down. I know this subject has been all over the place, guys. Some people are interested, some people aren't, but it's something I followed from the beginning on the Kansas City 3. Kaleida Hope, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Great to see you. Thank you, Marianne. I appreciate that so very much. But we've all wondered, and I put a little bit of a theory out a while back. I think that's where we're at with it, folks. It's sad, but I think that's what we're at with it. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. Something I want to touch on. Okay. There's been multiple comments. There's different streams going out for this, that, and everything else. The first thing I'm going to put out is there is a channel that I didn't know existed by the name of Post Woke World. Okay. There's a very nice lady. She has a channel out there. I think it was Once Upon a Crime Time has put her out and played her. Oh, one moment, folks. Let's see. It looks like Mr. Chad Button gifted 5 true crime memberships out there. Miss Kelly Barrison, Fat Baby Toodles, Bernadette Thomas, Miss Josie, Crimson Tide were all gifted. That's so very awesome. Chad, thank you, brother. I appreciate you so very much. Summer Jade, welcome. Great to see you tonight. And that's what I'm going to talk about, Summer. Thank you for that. I want that to be understood. Batten's Lifestyle Collecting. Great to see you. Thank you so much. And again, Chad, thank you for that. Welcome to the new meatballs. You are the man, Chad. So going back to what I was saying, Cluminati put out a video talking about certain things that she saw in another video that she thought was wrong. Okay. She spoke out on it, and I supported what she was talking about. I still do. And I spoke up on it myself a little bit too. Virginia Wolf, welcome. Great to see you. There is absolutely. Thank you for joining us. So I want it to be understood, guys. I don't attack people. I never have. Okay. I don't talk bad about people. I never have. you know, obviously it's happened to me. So it's not a good thing. And I want to say that some things can be taken in a way that maybe they shouldn't be. Okay. Sunny Cat, welcome. Good to see you. Miss Cluminati is in the house. There she is. That's right. And I do too. I do too. I absolutely stand with her on that subject. And I'll explain why. And I'll explain how, because I want people to understand how this was meant. I can't speak for Clue. She's in here, though. She can speak and agree or disagree with me. That's fine. We've spoken about it. Okay. You guys understand something. And I want to make this known first. My outlooks on the cases that we cover, Idaho in particular, are not out there because I'm trying to impress anybody at all. Especially not a specific person that has attacked me time and time again. I'm definitely not trying to impress that person. I could give two squats what this person thinks about me or anybody else. Okay. Absolutely don't. And I never will. Okay. Welcome, Great Pearl. Good to see you. So, thank you, Moonlit. I'm not, how can I explain this? I will not take back any. I never said anybody's name, first of all. Please understand that. Go back and watch my video. I never put anybody's name out there. I don't do that, okay? Neither did Cluminati. Okay, in her video, she didn't put out anybody's name. People took what they took and decided that's who that was about. Now, I want to say to Post Woke World, I don't know the lady's name, but the channel itself. If you took anything that came from me personally as a personal attack towards you, that's not what it was. Okay. It was a and I don't believe that it was, it should have never sounded any like me agreeing with anything should have never came that way either, because I never said your name and I never heard your name said. I want you to understand something. I respect any creator for anything they do, any time that they put in to do something. Okay. I respect that. I don't have to agree with everything or anything that some specific creators or certain creators speak or do. Okay. Just as much as they don't have to agree with me. And that's okay. Now, this case has brought out the absolute most, welcome, Victoria, the absolute most insane things I've seen and heard, guys. I have so many emails from multiple different people I don't know, people I do know, people that I've never even heard of. Okay. Woke up in 1984. Welcome. And I've not put it out, guys, because it doesn't make sense. Now, I had one video in here on my channel and it was done purposely to me to make me look bad. Okay. They came from another channel. They said some really crazy stuff. I did not know what the man was going to say. And I always give everybody the chance to finish their thought, to speak their mind. And, you know, when it came out, I immediately started running a ticker. Let me see if I still have it, just to show you guys. Right here at the bottom of my screen when he started speaking, because I knew people were going to think something of it. I do not believe that, think that, feel that way about any of that stuff that man spoke about. So I ran that immediately. Okay. And I would do that with anything that I don't believe in that comes across my channel. And just because it comes through my channel doesn't mean I agree with it nor believe in it. I've always given everybody the platform to speak their mind and to speak their opinions and theories on certain things. Some people come off rude to other people. It is what it is. I understand. Some people don't. Everybody's perception of things comes in different variations, different forms, different colors. We'll just put it different colors, different flavors. I'll say it that way. Okay. Welcome, Bianca. Great to see you. Now, I want to understand. I'm saying this out loud on purpose. To the lady that runs the post, I don't want to say it wrong. Post Woke World. If you took me personally as attacking you or saying anything directly at you, my apologies, because that wasn't what it was. I was speaking to anybody, excuse me, anybody out there that has come out with what I feel is damaging information. I have personally put out misinformation, not purposely, but it's damaging to the case. And not only that, you guys, the biggest issue I have with a lot of this stuff that goes out, that's what Clue was talking about as well. Welcome, Rachel Rach. Dane Crawford, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Anybody I don't see, so sorry I don't see you, but welcome. Great to have you here. So, CL, there you are. Welcome. Good to have you here. Rachel Rach, I did say that. Victoria, great to see you as well. So, it's been damaging to the case itself in some ways too. Hey, Brandy, good to see you, dear. But most importantly, I know for a fact that the families of the victims from Idaho 4 have watched multiple channels out here. And the last thing that I personally would want to do is to put something out that they see that makes them feel any worse than they possibly could already. So in my opinion, and this is my opinion, putting things out that are in what I feel is outlandish, okay, that aren't based on any factual information, can cause possible damage, hurt feelings to the families, and maybe in some sense shame, I don't want to say victim shame, but just it's not in a good honor of the victims of the crime. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say in that sense. And Clue says, if sticking to the info that doesn't make it into a Nancy Drew book is wrong, lock me up, because I'm not chasing shadow people, reflections, or voices that I can see a face with. Don't watch me. And I'm not, that's what I'm saying, guys. I will give everybody a chance. I will look at anything. I have. And if it doesn't logically make sense to me, okay, that's what I'm saying. It just doesn't seem to fit into the realm of that. I'm not saying that what certain creators are doing is wrong in that sense. To them, if that works for them, that's wonderful. I'm not attacking them personally as creators or people, or anybody for that matter that puts out information, okay? I'm saying that it's damaging to the case. That's the things that I have. Those are the things that I were getting attacked for. And I don't think I was even doing that. But there's little things that I was saying that were not coming out right, I guess you could say. And I'm not going to change that because I still feel that way. The only one time that I was very unhappy with certain situations was with that person that came on my channel talking about those things. And anybody that's ever came out and talked nasty about the victims themselves, I will never would support that. I removed people from my channel for that. That's just the thing. AR Hayes, good to see you. So at this point, it has once again brought forth more drama in the true crime community. And it wasn't meant to be. I know for a fact, because I've spoken with Cluminati, she's in here, obviously. She was not attacking any one person. She was not attacking anybody in general. She was not attacking per se at all. She was putting a statement out there saying, guys, we have to stop putting out and supporting information that just doesn't have any kind of a logical backbone. Okay, if that makes any sense. I agree with that because it's not helping anything, folks. There's enough going on in this case. Okay? This case alone, there's enough going on in this case to last forever, folks. Enough misinformation. There are a lot of rabbit holes that have been dug around the town of Moscow, and there's people all over the place down in them, folks. Facts, okay? Welcome, Mr. Philip Hughes. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you're having a wonderful night, sir. The point is, you guys, is everybody wants a piece of this case. Everybody wants to be involved in trying to figure out what happened in this case. I get it. I would love for true justice to prevail in this case and the victims and the families to get the justice they deserve. The families could start to grieve as in in a way that they should have been able to already, instead of worrying about trying to solve this shit. Welcome, Wendy Wallace. There's been so much, a year and some months worth of so much. You guys know that, okay? I want you to understand, folks. I have never, ever, ever attacked anybody for their thoughts, their theories, their opinions, and I'm not doing it today. I wasn't doing it yesterday. And I'm telling you, I'm making a blanket statement. What I believe as being misinformation, if it's put out, it's damaging. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Guys, please tell me if I'm too loud. I got to get this down sooner or later. I can't tell if I'm being too loud. If I need to turn my mic down. I got an echo going too. Okay. So that is all that was being stated in that statement in the video that Clue put out, as I've stated, and she'll state it in the chat again. Okay. I will stand with what she said. I agree with that. I think that some things have gotten to an extreme amount of like strange in some senses. I think that there's things that people have put out that they've seen, that they've heard, and I'm not saying that this and she's a very nice lady from what I heard in her video. I watched your video, ma'am, and I think you did it. It was a great video, and I thank you for the nice things that you did say, and for understanding that I wasn't trying to be malicious or mean, because I wasn't. Okay, I was just agreeing with what Cluminati and Sarge said, that I feel that there's a lot of stuff that have been put out that just is out there. Okay, and I never directed that at you or anybody else, ma'am. If you're watching this, okay. It's blanketed for everybody or anybody. If there's anybody in here, or even myself for that matter, if I were to say something, I would turn around and look in the mirror and go, really, dude? Come on. You just yelled at everybody else saying, okay, we can't do this, guys. We're a community. We need to stick together and work together if we're going to do this. But putting out things that, I'm not saying this was put out, but I have had emails stating this, you guys, no lie. I've had about 9 months ago, I got 3 emails from somebody that insisted that aliens were involved in this. Okay. I'm not saying that aliens don't exist. Okay. I'm not. And I even responded to this person. Okay. And I said, listen, if you're serious about this, first of all, I said, is this a joke? Are you being serious? Are you trying to, make jokes with me? What are you trying to do? They were dead serious. And I said, okay, I'm not going to support something like that, because it's not based on any kind of factual information. You know what I mean? That's right, Joanne. Nobody's name was said. So that's a true fact as well. That's a good point right there. People can't express their opinions without being attacked. And it shouldn't be that way. My opinion, okay, about certain things are that doesn't exist. That doesn't make sense. Okay. Based on the factual information. And let me say this the right way, because I don't know if I have been. But based on the factual information, that's what we're supposed to go with on this PCA, whether we believe in it or not. Welcome up, Apple Bottom Jeans. Felicity J, great to see you. Whether we believe in the factual information that we're getting, what the PCA, for instance, we've all complained about the PCA. Hold on, guys, I lost something. Where did it go? What the heck? Bear with me, folks. My apologies. Oh, I'll just use that. That's fine. Okay, so again, based on the PCA in the Idaho 4 case, that is the only thing we have that's based on facts. A lot of us don't believe in it. A lot of us don't agree with it. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up on chat. Okay, so Anyway, so that is the only thing that we have to go on. And anything else that has been given to us from law enforcement, family, attorneys, that's what we have to use as fact. Okay. And if something does not come out that is based on that, it's not right to attach it to the case and say, hey, this is what happened. Hey, this is where this is. Everybody's entitled to have an opinion about something. Okay. Or theories, of course. And I support and respect I respect everybody that has different theories and opinions on it. You know, if I don't agree with it, then I don't agree with it. Then I don't have to, just like you don't have to agree with me. We can all do that and agree to disagree and walk away and shake hands at the end of the day. That's what this is all about, guys. But again, there does not need to be any bad blood or bad feelings because people feel a certain way about things. Like I said, when Cluminati put that out, she was frustrated because we've seen so much. Thank you, Licity. That was very nice of you. Very nice. I'm sorry, that was funny. So anyway, what I'm trying to say, you guys, there doesn't need to be, how can I put this? I don't even know how to put this. Okay, I see people referring to Linda Lane. Welcome, Lisa Bleo. Good to see you. So let me go to that. Let me talk about that for a minute. I'm going to touch on that. That goes along with this. The Linda Lane footage, when it came out, I worked with another creator out here for 3 straight solid days, all day and all night on that. Okay. And when I pulled it out, it is too dark, Clue. It is. I left it on too long and it got a little darker. I mean, this is my natural color. Honestly, it was years and years ago, but it's a little too dark because I left it in too long. So anyway, the Linda Lane footage I spent 3 solid days on with another creator, pulling it apart piece by piece by piece by piece. I found everything I could find in it. I researched it. I investigated it. Search all over the place. Thank you, Clue. When I was done, I walked away from it because I'm not going to spend my life on one specific thing for 6 to 9 months. It's wasted time for me. That's my opinion, though. If somebody else wants to do that, I respect that. That's your time. That's your thing. There's so much, in my opinion, there was only so much that Linda Lane offered. I found, there's audio to an extent, but I don't trust audio. I don't trust audio because we don't know who got their hands on that audio before we got our ears on it, right or wrong. If that audio was released from law enforcement or from Ann Taylor or from Bill Thompson, I would have listened to it and said, okay, I believe this and I believe that. Now, that doesn't mean that other people don't hear things, okay? I just don't trust it. Because let's be honest, guys. I want somebody in here to tell me, welcome, Teresa. I want one person in here to tell me where that audio came from Linda Lane. And I'll sit here for a minute and wait for somebody to go ahead and type it or whatever. I want one person to tell me where that audio came from. Welcome, Teresa. Oh, we're gonna get to that, Natalie. No worries. Okay, and there Lucia says the owner of the apartments. There's a gentleman named Kane. Okay. We heard that. That's right. AR says, who the heck knows? It's unconfirmed. Bingo. You guys don't know. I could have put that out. Clue could have put that out. Any other creator could have put it out. We don't know. Okay, this is the point I'm trying to make. That's why I never trusted it. Welcome, Senny Curve. Good to see you. I mean, I know it came from Linda Lane, Senny. I'm just saying who put it out. It came from no one that we've seen ever. Thank you, Clue. Nobody has ever came out, vetted and clarified and verified that information saying this is real. We did this. Jeff took it and cleaned it up and cleared it up with his equipment that he uses to do that with. A couple other people did that too. Great. Same with the camera footage, okay? We've seen people clearly come, welcome upstate New York, in and out. But there is no clear, concrete verification of where that, I mean, we know where it came from, but how it came about and what it is, okay? Therefore, I never took it and did anything else with it. And again, that doesn't mean that, you know, Cindy Kerf or Cluminati or Brandy or Sergeant Friday or Teresa or War Eagle heard something that I didn't hear, or I heard something they didn't hear, or saw something. Okay. I know what I saw. I recorded and kept what I saw, and I got my own theory on it. And I know what I heard, but I also know what I didn't hear. Okay. And that's me. I'm not saying that anything else about that anybody heard, saw, or what they even feel about it is wrong. All I know is what I didn't see in here, or what I did see in here. Okay. So again, that's one more thing that I'm saying, guys. It's been so mumble jumbled around. I spent more than enough time on it. And then I walked away and moved on to something different because I could have spent the past 8-9 months on that and still been on it and driven myself insane. You know, I know there's a lot of creators out there that did spend a lot of time on it, a lot of time and effort and all that. And I respect that. And props to you for that. And maybe you saw something that I didn't see. Okay. Welcome, Cat Lady. Thank you for joining us. Maybe you heard something I didn't hear. Okay. But it was never verified with anybody from law enforcement or anybody that is legally attached to this case, or a family member per se. Okay. Even I would even take that. It wasn't, though. That's the problem. And there's been so much of that that's come out, guys. We've seen it all and heard it all. You guys know that. There was audio put out in the very beginning that was debunked like that from a YouTuber that I don't even classify him as a YouTuber. Okay. He's just garbage. What he puts out is all garbage. I'm not going to say his name and be rude, and he's not anywhere around this community that we deal with. Okay. And it's something that you don't do. These were 4 lives that were taken. This is a real case. It's not a game. It's not a video game. It's not, you know, let's have some fun on YouTube tonight and make up this or make up that or do this or do that. No, this is real. Okay. It's absolutely real. And that is why I have always taken it seriously, because I've always wanted, and I've always stated in anything I cover, that we need to be and should be and are the voice for the voiceless, because they can no longer speak for themselves. So as we look at things and we bring things out, it needs to be as real and as true to fact as it very possibly can, if not right on. Okay. So seeing and hearing these other things that we know in our minds are not possible. It just doesn't make any logical sense. That's why I've asked everybody that talks about this, when they come out here to say anything, please use as much common sense as you can, as much logic as you can, and please do not ever shame or say anything negative about the victims or their families, because there's no need for that. That's what I ask. And just once again, because I forgot in the beginning, everything we talk about in here, folks, is purely alleged and absolute speculation. There it is. Okay. And if you're going to do that, guys, if you're going to do that, there's a lot of channels out there. There was a channel that talked about the possibility of somebody parachuting into the balcony. Let's think about that for a minute. What are the odds that happened? Okay. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It just doesn't fit into the realm of logic as far as I'm concerned. If it happened, well, damn. Okay. Just saying. I've spoken on things and I know people believe this, and I'm not saying that it's wrong that you believe this, but the tunnel scenario, guys, I looked into it. I know Clues looked into it. They don't exist. They exist in areas on campus and around. Under the house, they don't exist, guys. Okay, I've looked into it personally, and there's nothing there. If somebody thinks I'm wrong, then I respect that. That's fine. I'm not going to argue or say anything negative about anybody because of it. I never have. But in my opinion, based on the facts that were given to me and that I've seen, that they don't exist. That's why I said that in the past. And I think that that is misinformation. That's Cindy. That's misinformation. And I think it unbalances the integrity of the case in some senses. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying, I think Brian's innocent. I think Brian's guilty at all, because people think that. That's part of what we do. Okay. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know, I don't think that Brian could have done this because of this, and this. Or I absolutely think Brian did this because of this, and this. Okay, that's great. That's not misinformation. That's not in the realm of conspiracy. Okay. It's damaging, guys, because here's what happens. And Clue, I know she agrees with this because we've spoken about this. Illuminati, we've said the same things, okay? When somebody puts out a piece of information that is way, way out in the realm of wow, where did you get that from? Okay. and 600 people see it in a live stream, they're all gonna run. And that's in their mind. It's stuck in their mind for a while. So then they come over to another channel and they start talking about it to those people. Those people pick up on it. Okay. Welcome, Irene Clobber. Good to see you. And then those people go to another channel and talk about it to those people. And that's just, it goes and it starts spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading. And then you know, 6 days later, somebody comes back in here. And you guys know how things happen like that. Okay, so Jimmy fell and broke his leg on Saturday. It'll leave here right now in this chat. Okay, and today is Thursday night. By Tuesday, it's going to come back here and it's going to be Jimmy was walking down the street and somebody hit him in his knee with a baseball bat, and then his leg fell off and he picked up his leg and hit Tommy in the head with it. And then Tommy turned around and beat up Stan. And do you see what I'm saying? How things change and turn and get twisted. And when it's already what could possibly be misinformation, it happens to fall into the rabbit hole and it gets blended up and turned into something way worse. Okay. And then there's other creators that are out here that are seeing this in their chats, and people are asking them about it and talking about it. And we have to go, well, guys, I don't know that that's true because we don't see anything out. We'll pull up the PCA and say it's not there. There's nothing in this document. It's not there. I've never heard Ann Taylor speak about that or anybody else that's attached to the case speak about it. So I have to say, no, I don't believe that's true. But we get that a lot. And I know Clue's in here and she can hear me. And I know she can verify. We get that in our channels a lot, okay? Whether it's done on purpose, whether it's done because somebody heard something the wrong way, but it never would have started if it wasn't being put out to begin with. If you don't have something that you can, I've been guilty of this too, and I had to make sure I wasn't doing it. I had to change something. I put out information that I didn't vet at first, and it turned out to be wrong. So then I had to turn around and go back and fix that because that's not what I want to do. Thank you, Brandy, very much. And thank you to anybody that has donated to support this channel via Venmo, PayPal, and or Cash App. Guys, that helps me so much. It helps me to pay my internet bill, my YouTube, and all that other stuff. And if I don't have that, I won't be able to do this, guys. So thank you for anybody that has. Tomboy Charm, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. So that is what I want to stress. The game telephone. Oh my God, listening. I haven't heard that in a long time. But that's what happens. Okay. So I want it to be known right here and now. I love when I've heard something from someone that I'm positive I never said, since I rarely tell anything. I'm about it. Exactly. Do you know how many things have come back to me that I've heard and said, hey, Dago said that this lady did this at this time, and that's what happened. I said, and then it comes back to me finally. I'm like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. You see what I'm saying? So it happens, guys. Whether it's purposeful or not, it does happen. And that is all that Illuminati was doing when she put that out. And I'm not speaking for her. I'm telling you what she told me when we talked. And I'm not doing this either, guys. I'm not attacking people. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. I'm not attacking creators. I'm not being rude to creators. Okay. I respect these other people in their communities. I do, because of the work they put in. Any creator, even if it's somebody, listen, guys, this is going to be hard to say. Very hard. Everybody knows how I feel about a specific creator, Detective John. Okay. If that man is doing the work and the research to put out a video in regards to this case that is about the case and nothing else, you know, not attacking people and stuff like that, I respect the work he's put in to do that. It's not easy to do that. Okay. Any creator that's doing that is taking the time to put out that work, taking the time to put that together for you, to bring it to you, to give it to you, to see and hear what it's all about. I respect them all, even ones I don't agree with. Okay. And I've never attacked anyone. I've never done that. Anybody that's been with me long enough knows that I wouldn't do that. And I'm not. Okay. I'm not going to say that again and again. I'm just telling you. Misty J, thank you for joining us. Or Felicity J, I'm sorry. I was looking at that wrong name. That's okay. Somebody else just said something. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with chat too. Where did it go? I must have missed it. Sorry. But anyway, Debbie Deb, thank you so much for joining us, and I appreciate you very much. Oh, wait a minute. That didn't come. There it is. First super chat of the night. I do appreciate you, Debbie. Thank you for understanding that and making that comment. I appreciate all the comments that you guys have made. I try to respond to as many. I've seen some people made some comments thinking something, the way they portrayed, or the way that it was portrayed about me. And that's not true, guys, because I didn't say anything for the most part, but I did agree with certain things, and I still do, and I will stand by that. The fact that Illuminati put that video out, I support her in that because it's true. If she's talking about what she's talking about, that's what I'm saying, guys. But at the same time, she never attacked a specific person. Neither did I. I'm not supporting her attacking a person because she didn't. Welcome board. Good to see you. What I'm supporting, guys, and what I'm standing by is the fact that the nonsensical stuff that doesn't need to be out here in this case, or any case for that matter. You guys, the Delphi case that we're going to be delving back into, because there's been some more documents and some more stuff going on. We're going to be delving back into it. That case is so hard to believe because of the things that are going on, but it's real. It's in front of our faces. It's not conspiracy. It's actually happening. Okay. That's the one, you guys. If you guys are looking for conspiracy, look at that. You won't believe it because it's unreal that it's happening. Oh, gee. I don't think I've seen Clue give anybody a compliment. That's a compliment to me right there. I love it. Thank you so much for that. A semi-good human being. That's better than nothing, isn't it? I know you're kidding. It's all good. Thank you so much, War Eagle. I appreciate that. And anybody that has done anything with that Amazon wish list for me, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I do absolutely appreciate that. I'm looking at that, Lisa. As far as I know, there's nothing new. Based on the only things I've heard thus far is that they believe that Donna passed away because of hypothermia. I've also been told that there were a couple specific charges that were dropped for the person that was arrested. I don't know for a fact yet. But that's all I know at this point. But I've been looking, and I will give you guys absolute updates of the real deal stuff on it. So I want to say up front, and again, anybody that was upset by anything I may have said that's in this community or any other community that took it as me being that way, I'm sorry. But I wasn't being that way, guys. I was being real, in my opinion. That's all I was doing. I know that there's other creators that have put out a couple videos about, or at least one that I know of, and I've never had any problem with that creator at all. I've always supported him, and I still do as a person, okay? And as a creator. I'm sorry that it was taken that way if he's upset with me. But I got to be real, folks, okay? Warrior Mom, thank you for joining us. And thank you for that comment as well. So I want that to be known right out of the gate, folks. That's what I wanted to talk about first. Let's do that again. Jesus, sorry. And that's all it was. And that's what all it is, you guys. I just want that known. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm definitely not to bully anybody. Me of all people, are you kidding me? I've been attacked and bullied by, I think, more than anybody on this end of YouTube. And I'm still sitting here because I care about this. I have a passion for this. I care about you guys. Okay? That's why I'm here. Miss Annie Ruler, Ola, back to you. And I've got pretty thick skin. I've been through the ringer time and time again. Tomboy, good to see you tonight. But I gotta tell you guys, I'm over the drama. Every other day, it's something different. And it has nothing to do with any of these cases we're covering. It's bullshit. I'll be honest with you. It's ridiculous. This person's mad about this. That person's mad about this. I'm mad about this, that. He's mad about that. Come on, guys. None of this is helping to fix this case. Welcome, Sherry. Good to see you. None of that kind of stuff gives any answers to the questions that we have. That's all I'm saying. Wendy Wallace, thank you. And Proud Mary Vibes for joining us. Appreciate it. I absolutely hate it, Mary. I agree. You guys, I left the drama community when I first hit YouTube to come to this because I hate the drama. And here we are. This has become more of a drama community than the drama community. Does that make sense? Just saying. Thank you so very much, Chad. I appreciate you, brother. So very much, my friend. I don't know why this thing is not very loud. Let me do it again. It needs to be louder. But anyway. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep pushing forward no matter what it is. And if I have to say it again, I will. Ridiculous stuff does not belong in these cases, guys. It doesn't. And that's not directed at any one specific person. That's not directed at anybody else. It's directed at that stuff in general. And what is it? Post woke. I'm so sorry. I'm not being disrespectful. Like, just post woke world stated that she would talk to this person or that person in her video. It's a great video, by the way. And again, it was very respectful. Seems to be a very nice lady. I'll speak with you, ma'am. I have no problems with that. If you want to talk to me, I'll talk to you. I do stand strong on what I believe. Okay. And that's not going to change. But if you would like to have a conversation with me, we can do that. That's fine. But I meant no disrespect to you personally. And no ill will towards you at all. Just understand that. That's one thing I wanted to say. And again, I never spoke your name. I didn't know who you were until I saw it. So, good luck with your channel. If nothing else, continue doing what you do. If that's what you believe in, God bless. But I just wanted you to know I was not attacking you personally. I know you had mentioned my name in that one video, so that's why I wanted to make sure that you understood that. I heard you mention also that you've watched my channel, and thank you. I appreciate that so very much. Yes, Kimberly, I'm glad I left too. And the drama community consists of people bullying and picking on people. Okay. And I came into that initially to stand up for those people. That's all I did. Day after day after day after day with the same damn people. So anyway, sorry. Does anybody have any comments, questions, statements, anything in regards to what I just spoke on? Because I want to get into the other stuff too. Thank you so very much, War Eagle. God bless. It's very nice of you. And anybody that does donate to that, thank you so much for that as well. That'll buy me some coffee because I love my coffee. And again, it helps me to pay the bills to keep me running. What did you say, Brandy? That's a good point. Great Pearl, thank you. That's awesome, Liz. I love that. Thank you. Woke up in 1984, and I hope that everybody does feel that way because I try to be that way the very best I can. I'm even told by people. Clues told me. Sarge definitely tells me I'm too nice. Okay, that's me. That's who I'll be. So I don't see any questions. Why are you more handsome today than yesterday? Because I'm pathetic and I dyed my facial hair and my hair again. That's all. But thank you for noticing, Kimberly. I wish I had better coffee, Chad. I don't. It is what it is. So, moving forward, everybody. Again, we've been looking at the Kansas City 3, as we call it, that case. Thank you, Sherry. For a while now, over a month. And it's been very enthralling, guys. It's been crazy. Thank you so much, Brandy. Absolutely, Victoria. No problem. Thank you, Kimberly. Well, I feel like, that her and you guys deserve to see the best I can give you guys. Obviously, you don't want to see somebody who looks like a bum living under the bridge. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like she says, way too nice, but I'm not you. So you can balance my mean ass out, and that's fine. That's just who I am, and that's okay. All right, so the Kansas City 3, the toxicology's come back on some senses. And you guys remember we had spoke to you guys about a theory I gave you on what I thought possibly could happen on this, right? Here we go. I'm gonna do this real quick because I know she'll have something to say about this. So I'm gonna, at least her would want to, or anybody that wants to jump up here. Once we talk about this, there's a link for Clue or whoever if you want to jump up here. We'll talk about what we're about to talk about on the Kansas City 3 because I know we talked about this quite a bit in the past. So let me see here. Let me pull this up, guys. Give me a second here. And if not, no worries. Nobody has to jump up here. I was just given that option. Where did it go? Where is it? Here they are. Let me see something here, guys. Give me 1 second. Oof. Welcome, Tomboy. Hold on 1 second, guys. Real quick. Thank you so much, Chad. Gifted another membership. And I didn't see who got it. Hold on a minute. Oh, what is going on, guys? Bear with me. I'm still having these problems with my system because of my problems with my system. So, good Lord. Kathy Dugan, thank you so much for that. Miss Carolyn Miller gifted one as well. Went to Proud Mary. Congrats, congrats, congrats. Awesome. And thank you guys both. God bless. I appreciate you so very much. Okay. Can you hear me, Tomboy? Because I can't hear you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There you are. Okay. Welcome. All right, guys. We're going to go with this first. Let me know how the audio is, please. All right. Hold on a second here.
in the backyard of a Northland home. I'm John Holt.
And I'm Christelle Bell. The toxicology report is in police hands tonight. Fox 4's Malik Jackson joins us now live from KCPD headquarters. Malik, what are you learning about that report that's out?
John and Christelle, we have confirmed with multiple sources that the families of Clayton McGinney, Ricky Johnson, and David Harrington were notified earlier this afternoon by detectives that the toxicology report is complete. Now, it is important to note that these reports are very detailed.
One thing I want to say about this, I don't know how you feel about this kind of stuff, Tomboy, or anybody for that matter. That's got to be probably one of the fastest toxicology reports I've seen come back quick like that ever.
Well, I don't think it's the in-depth toxicology. I think it's just the quick.
Well, that's what I thought, but he just said they're very detailed, they're very this, they're very that. So it's like, well, okay. Oh, hold on a minute. Something just happened here. Hold on. Give me a second. Did somebody else pop in down here? Yep, there she is. Okay. I heard the little pop. Welcome, Clue and Cletus.
Hello.
What's that?
I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that the toxicology came back awful fast on that? I mean, it was what, the 9th?
I thought they said 8 weeks, but
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've looked at like other cases and they've taken a lot longer.
while. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. But hey, I mean, unless they rushed it because of the scenario. I mean, I guess that's very possible, but I don't know. Welcome, Riddler. All right, I'm gonna finish playing this. I wanted to let you guys know. I thought that was a little quick for me, but
Well, I will say earlier we watched something and they said it was preliminary.
Yeah. Like
okay.
and I thought I can't swear to this, but I thought I heard them say it was something related to the autopsy. And the toxicology still hadn't. The complete toxicology isn't done.
Which
well, I know that like on autopsies, you can do a basic panel.
Right, like a blood. It's probably in the blood work.
Right, and it based on what me and Cletus talked about earlier, the level of certain things is way high, so it obviously picked it up without issue. Okay, it wasn't like it was just a trace. Now that's something that'll tell you guys. We're going to talk about this here in a few minutes. The amount of something, okay, but I'll let this play out first and then we'll go into that.
What has been given to these families is preliminary, but what we do know is that there were several substances found in these men's bodies, including the presence of cocaine. Now let's take a step back here because we were given the timeline about 6 to 8 weeks as to when we would get these results back. We haven't passed the 4th week mark just yet. Moving forward, this will allow KCPD to finish their investigation and pass this case off to prosecutors. It's crucial that we know that this comes one day after these families in fact met with the prosecuting attorney there in Platte County. After that meeting concluded, these families said that they were satisfied, and one day later, here we are with these reports. We reached out to KCPD. They had little to say about this development, but they did confirm that they have been in contact with these men's families. Now, there is an important person when we talk about next steps, and that is Jordan Willis, the man who lived inside of this home. Yesterday, we reported that he checked into rehab, and now we have these toxicology reports detailing what may have happened to his 3 friends. We also do know from a source that they have determined a cause of death, but they have not released that just yet. We reached out to Jordan Willis's attorney, and at this time, we have not heard back. John, Christelle.
Malik, you mentioned originally we were thinking 6 to 8 weeks on this toxicology report, which is pretty typical. All of a sudden, it shows up. Any indication as to why? Was it expedited for some reason?
Oh yeah.
That's a question that we at this time really don't have an answer to because, as you know, through our reporting, we had reached out to the medical examiner multiple times, and each time we reached out, they had the same line that no one person's death is more important than another person's death. So this was going to take the standard amount of time from 6 to 8 weeks. But as we mentioned, this is less than 4 weeks, and this case has drawn national attention, and it has been very important for police and for prosecutors to get these results as far as what the next steps would be. But again, you'd have to believe that they did expedite this process, because from everything we heard since the day that these men were found is that these reports would take 6 to 8 weeks. But again, here we are, less than 4 weeks from when they were found in the backyard of that Northland home. We have these toxicology reports.
All right, Malik Jackson live at KCPD headquarters tonight. Malik, thanks.
All right. Now we got more to look at, but I'm going to talk about this for a minute. This, first off, this is very sad. Okay. I'll say that much. And my deepest condolences to the families. And I want to say something. I've seen different videos put out. Sorry, the volume is, I had that blasted War Eagle. I'm sorry if you couldn't hear it. Okay. But there's something else in their system as well. We found that. Cletus actually found that and told me about it. Thank you, Cletus, for that. If you're there, I think he's there.
He's here.
Okay. And I stated to you guys, me and Sarge, after we put this out, we looked at this, we went back, we talked about it. We spent quite a couple hours on it one night, and we talked about my personal experiences, what I've seen in EMS, what he knows in a sense, okay, about this stuff. And it's a lot of it's generalized information, but I had brought to you guys the next day a theory, okay, that you know, these guys are partying, they're celebrating the game. It doesn't make them addicts, okay? People can do things once. That doesn't make them an addict, folks. So please do not put that out there, because I don't believe they were. Excuse me. And they were just having a good time. They wanted to stay up late. They wanted to do this. They wanted to do that. Somebody went somehow and picked up that white stuff. Okay. That was definitely found. And then also they found something else. At least one other thing in their system that I brought to you guys and told you that I felt was very possible because of what they did. And it's been found in almost everything nowadays. What's up, Twizzle? And Jennifer Romero, good to see you. I do believe, and Cletus, do you remember how much it was?
Yeah, the lethal dose is 10, whatever. I guess it's nanograms per deciliter. It would be. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But, and they had 30 in their system.
Did you hear that? It's 3 times the lethal dose, folks. So if these gentlemen did not know, and I'm getting to that point where what it was, Miss Brandy, I did not. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. It's been a crazy day. And this isn't real quick. This is Miss Brandy's 2-year anniversary with me in this channel, and God, I love her to death. She's been here for 2 years through all this crap. I love you so very much, my dear, and you know that. And I appreciate everything you have done and ever do for this channel. And you know I love you like a sister. So thank you so much for being here. God bless. I'm going to venture to say that the cocaine was laced with fentanyl, just like everything we've seen these days. We've talked about this. Clue, I've talked about this with you. I think Tomboy was actually in a conversation we were having where we talked about it as well, since she's up here as well. They are finding marijuana laced with fentanyl, folks. It's deadly. I showed you the videos on a police officer that just touches somebody or touches it with gloves on, and they're dropping, okay? It's dangerous. So 3 times the lethal dose was in that, okay? Now, as I stated to Sarge that night, I said, I have a feeling I know why they were outside. If that was what happened, if they did some cocaine, they were trying to stay up and have a good time, they didn't even have to do very much of it.
No.
It goes right to your heart, folks. Fentanyl will go right for your breathing, your heart. They couldn't breathe. Okay? They couldn't breathe. And as I told you guys in my theory, they probably went out the back door trying to get air, like I said, because they can't breathe. Their heart's like just squeezing, okay? They can't get oxygen. So they're outside trying to get oxygen, and it just, boom, their heart basically blows. It hasn't come back yet, but I still think when the autopsy, cause of death comes back, that it's going to be an extreme cardiac event is what I think it's going to be listed as. okay, which is a massive heart attack.
Well,
That's my theory, but
and
I
you
think,
have to take into account too, if you're doing the cocaine, it's going like straight to your brain. You know what I mean?
hold on, stop. What did you just say?
Cocaine.
I'm sorry, guys. That you kill me. Anyway,
It's
yeah,
from a movie, right?
From Red
yes,
Heat.
Red
yeah,
Heat.
yes, you're right. Anyway, yeah, it does. It goes to your brain. Okay, that's when you do that. It's going right to your brain, and then it gets into your blood system, and it starts flowing. So it may have taken a moment. It may not have taken time at all. But boom, it's quick, folks. Thank God. And it will literally make you feel like there's a truck parked on your chest. Okay, and you can't do anything. You can't get any air in. You think you can't breathe, and it's because of what's going on with your heart. Welcome, Draw Latina. Great to see you here. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you're in here, actually, Draw. Draw is an MD and a psychiatrist and knows these things, so she can verify everything I'm saying. So yeah, fentanyl is an opiate, but it's like the strongest of strong. Okay.
Yeah.
And the dosage is so insane. Okay. All three of them probably did the same thing at the same time. Yeah, actually, Draw, if you feel up to it, ma'am, if you would like to jump up here just to verify some of what I'm saying, I would really appreciate that. There's a link here in chat if you would like to. Just let me know. If you don't feel like it, though, I understand completely. No worries. But
Are you going to pull up that Twitter thing? Because people are like asking where it came from, like Bobby.
Oh, yeah. I can do that.
Report,
that's probably a good idea. You're right. Hold on a minute. 1 second.
My niece's level was 51.
Wow.
Lord, sorry about that. Say what you're saying.
My niece's level was 51.
Good Lord. And that you don't even have to ingest that much. There she comes. Awesome. Welcome, Draw. Can you hear me? Are you there, Doc? I hear her. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, take your time getting it set up. Cletus, if you don't mind, because I didn't write it down like I should have.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Do you remember the Twitter account that was on?
Give me 30 seconds.
Yeah, we have to look it up.
That's fine. I'm sorry. I should have wrote it down, but I had other crap I was doing at the same time, so I'm sorry.
A Kappa. Oh,
no, I can never remember that.
let me find it.
Hold on a second here. I did write it, but where did I put it? Oh, here it is.
Isn't that it right there?
I don't remember.
ALCCAPRARI.
Okay, it's ALCAPRARI
We're gonna have to do that again.
Okay.
At AL
CAP RARI 23.
Okay. There it is. Alex Capriello.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Now you see why I had such a hard time pronouncing it.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot of syllables.
And it came from a family friend who wants to stay anonymous, right? But
100%.
it was like THC, the snow, and the F.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find it.
That tweet.
That specific one I'm trying to find. Yeah. Hold on. Oh my God. Why did I just do that? I hate Twitter.
I'm not a Twitter person either.
Not even close. Okay. All right. So
maybe I can find a screenshot.
That's what I'm trying to pull up. Which one? Oh, here it is. You know what? I'm just going to do this. Okay. 1 second here. Hopefully this allows me to blow this up.
Oh, you found it. Oh, he did say it was now confirmed by a second family source.
What did I just do here? Hold on. It's so hard to see. Give me a second, guys. Oh, that blinking is killing me.
If you want, I just emailed you a screenshot.
That would probably be better than trying to blow this up for you guys to see.
I figured, but it'll be bigger when you pull it up, right?
Yeah. And for anybody that wants to know, this right here is the account that we found this on. If you want to go look for yourself, I'm going to show you. Okay. This is it right here. All of this. I'm going to read this to you here in a minute. And there's more. Okay. I can't look at my screen right now doing that though, because it's so much. So I'm going to pull up this screenshot. So give me a second here. Let me get rid of that now. Okay. Hold on. Now take your time, Draw. No problem. All right, guys. Let me get this. You sent in an email, you said, or were you going to drop it?
I emailed it.
Okay. Thank you. Excuse me. Everybody cross your fingers that this cord comes tomorrow and that it works.
It'll work.
This is so ridiculous. Okay. I gotta move this over here though. Boom. All right. Okay. A family member who asked to remain anonymous tells me that, oh, there she comes. Tells me cocaine, fentanyl, and THC showed up in the preliminary results. The family source says level 10 fentanyl is enough to kill. The Kansas City 3 were at level 30. This has been backed up and confirmed by a second separate family source. And again, that's the name on Twitter. If you all want to go check for yourself and read the rest of that stuff, you're more than welcome to. But there it is. Welcome, Draw. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I figured out that I have to get off my cell phone and get on my laptop.
I'm sorry to make you go through all that.
No. This is all very interesting. And this is kind of what I had suspected for a couple of weeks, to have three people drop like that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for joining us tonight, Doc. I appreciate you very much.
You know, I just wanted to say that I live in Connecticut, the state of Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And about a year ago in New Haven, right in the garden park near Yale New Haven University, Yale University, I think there were over a dozen young people that apparently had all bought the same reefer or weed or whatever you want to call it these days from the same person, and it was all laced with fentanyl. And there was a photograph I'll never forget. I mean, thank God they were all revived, but it was laced with fentanyl, and there were over a dozen people literally lying in the little park in the middle of the day on a Saturday. It's outrageous.
That's so sad.
And basically, the amount of fentanyl to kill somebody is equivalent to a pinch of salt. I mean, that's what it is. It's literally a pinch of salt. So, and you can just touch it, and it can be absorbed into your skin, and you can just stop.
I've shown videos of law enforcement officials. I have a personal friend that is an EMS worker that I worked with years ago that had that happen to him just from touching a patient, giving Narcan to a patient, and ended up getting it on his skin and dropped right there. Had to be Narcan himself. You see what I'm saying? So it's very scary stuff, guys. But anyway, I don't want to talk, but I want Draw to maybe talk about this a little bit, guys, and make you understand how serious it is, and the like we figured this out the other night based on my thoughts and what I've seen. But as a doctor, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm going to say that it is rampant in every community in this country. It's really become epidemic, and I just know that in Connecticut there was enough of these little, almost looked like little Skittle pills with the fentanyl, enough to kill like the entire United States population that was delivered by some drug person into the state about 6 months ago. It really is. It's really sad, and it's really scary. And actually, I recently myself bought a bunch of Narcan, nasal, because I want to have it in my home. I mean, my children, God forbid, they don't do any drugs, and pot is legal. So, if they get it,
yes,
they have to go to the dispensary, right?
Yes.
But as you never know, the neighbor could come knocking at the door, or whatever. You just don't know. Nobody, even my own children, God forbid, could have something happen. We just don't know. So we do really recommend that every household get 1 or 2 Narcan, little nasal. You can get it at Walgreens. They're not that expensive.
It's become like almost like my kids had to be on the EpiPens because their allergies to bees. Okay. It's become like that, but way worse, in my opinion.
It's very inexpensive. I think I bought 4 or 6 of them, and I'm going to give 2 to each of my children and keep some for myself. But I think one of the lessons here, honestly, guys, is that every household needs to have Narcan. It's that epidemic.
Yes, I agree. It's very, because like I said, as she just explained, and I've showed you, if you have teenagers that are going to parties, who knows, they could touch somebody or hug somebody that used it and end up having an episode themselves, guys. They could smoke a joint that has it in it. They could do anything, drink alcohol that somebody dropped it in. It's very scary at this point, guys. And that's why I agree with her. Every household should have at least 2 available at all times. I actually have 1 in my vehicle just because it was given to me. I have it there. Hopefully I'll never have to use it, but it's there. Okay. But I do agree. I think it's become to the point where people kept EpiPens in their home for people that have allergies. It's that worse than that at this point. So
it is. Have you seen the machines, the vending machines, like in large cities?
Yep.
And they're free, right? You don't have to put no money in, but they're like full of Narcan.
That if that doesn't make a statement, everybody, I don't know what does.
I haven't posted anything on my channel for over a year just because I got so sick of posting something and getting all kinds of trolls being horrible to me. So I was like, I don't need this in my life. But maybe go back and do it. But it got really ugly, Yes, but there was one long. I'm pretty sure I still have it posted on my channel. Not long, but it was over an hour where another creator and I went through the autopsy of, let me think if I can think of the girl. It was after the Kylie Rodney case, and it was another California young lady, 16, with beautiful girl, tall with red hair. I can't think of her name right now.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and it's
damn if I can't think of it. But I reviewed her autopsy and with a lot of different things, and it was in that. I'm pretty sure it was within that, and also the Kylie Rodney autopsy. I reviewed the toxicology, and I put up a little image of a United States copper penny, and then next to it showed that the amount of fentanyl, little like salt-like crystals that it would take to kill somebody. So it was very graphic. It was very clear. But one of the things I remember mentioning in my review, and of course I'm not a forensic pathologist, so
right.
Everybody's like, "You're not a forensic pathologist." I'm like, "Yes, I know," but unfortunately, I've had a lot of patients die of heroin overdose and fentanyl, and it's tragic. And in the clinic where I was working, we always kept Narcan on there because people literally would come in and they would drop, Right. But one thing that I was pointing out, I believe it was in the Kylie Rodney autopsy toxicology report, is that initially they didn't really comment on fentanyl, and then I reviewed that fentanyl is a synthetic opioid, but there are other types or fentanyl-like synthetic opioids that we really have to test for, in that big toxicology test that goes away to the lab. And when I really took a deep dive into the Kylie Rodney tox screen, they only tested for one. I think they tested for the fentanyl, but not for the other synthetics, which are becoming very popular as well. And so the thing is that I don't want to say thank God these men had fentanyl on board, but if the deep dive doesn't test for the other synthetic opioids, their fentanyl, they may have had their drug laced with a different synthetic other than fentanyl, and then it would have come in inconclusive. So I know I'm getting very detailed, but the bottom line,
that's what I want. That's what I want.
Is that there's more. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid, cheap as dirt. Probably coming through from China via Mexico, and it's just what I don't understand, like from a moral, ethical perspective, is why would somebody want to kill like our entire population? You know what I'm saying? Several times over, it would happen, right? And somebody else in this conversation that I had last year when I was doing my little live thing, it was somebody else put up the idea and the fact that when people are selling drugs, like a big supplier that's doing, let's say, the fentanyl sale like this, right? They don't really care. All they care if somebody dies or doesn't die, it doesn't matter. They're just cutting it with something that's cheap.
Right.
So they can make the coke or the weed go further, and they really have no moral compass.
Right, exactly. I mean, I remember in the 80s, I think it was a big thing to cut cocaine with baby laxatives or something like that. This is another drug they're cutting this with. So that's a dual action scenario, folks. So yeah. It's very cheap.
No, it's go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll shush.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know that it's so much used as like a cutting agent, but it does enhance the high. So they're still probably using like baking soda and stuff, right? But they're adding this because it makes the high last longer.
And they can sell it probably for a higher rate too because of that.
That's a very good point. I think I overstated my thing that I just said, Clue. I think your point is probably better stated, and that indeed my patients even say that I have patients with addiction issues, and they do say the high is much more intense. So I think you're right. The cutting piece is part of it, but I think the bigger piece is what Clue is saying, is that the intensity of the high. But then you pay the mortal price, right? And
exactly. You don't know. Like, these aren't pharmacists that are doing this and giving you a prescribed amount of this drug. They're putting it in as they choose, how they choose. And here you go. You don't know what your body can handle, and you don't know how much is in there. And like you were told, as Draw just said, it only takes so much. So sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I'm not sure what else I can add, except I will say one other thing, and that is that it's really skyrocketed anyway in New England here where I live in the past year. And I know that sadly there was a little like 12 or 13-year-old little boy whose parents were making the pills that you just showed, that you can stamp them with what looks like a real pill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, but it's fake and it's fentanyl. And he brought to sell at school, believe this or not, he brought a bunch of these little bags with the fentanyl in it, and they ended up finding him deceased in the boys' room. I mean, because he opened it up, he didn't even know. He knew his parents sold that they fabricated and that they were selling, but he didn't really even know what he was taking in terms of the huge quantities. And they actually, this is in the city where I live, right?
Yeah.
Different from New Haven, but anyway, they had to get freaking hazmat suits on the
Right.
enforcement, and they had to evacuate the school and do a deep clean. I mean, this is just it's unbelievable, right? So that's just wanted to give that little anecdote, basically to say that it's reaching all levels, not only socioeconomically, racially, ethnically, but even the demographic in terms of age, right?
Right.
And then the other little horror story that I'm going to tell you, and then you'll probably say, "Shut up."
Oh no.
But did you all hear about the little 18-month-old
Yes.
that went
Yeah.
to an Airbnb? The parents rented an Airbnb on a vacation for the weekend or long weekend, and
Yep.
they put the little girl down on the bed just to take her little nap. And I guess there was residue of fentanyl on the bedspread, and she died. I mean, it's just a freaking nightmare.
Insane. It's insane. I agree. I mean, it's the scariest thing that I have seen. I had to sit down because I watched the whole video on this. I have a 17-year-old child, okay, and he's a little bit different, okay. He's chronic ADHD, oppositional defiant disorder, and he's in the spectrum slightly, but he's very I want to be your friend type person. So if somebody were to say, "Hey, well, I'll be your friend if you take this with me," or something like that, okay. This looks like candy, you guys. It looks like candy. And I had to beg my child, to not take anything from anybody. Nothing. I don't care. The nurse has to call me to give him something, and he's 17 years old. They do it. They've had these things at school where they're teaching these kids bags. They're showing bags, and they're just multiple colored candies. Like Straw said, they look like Skittles in some senses. They're just, and it's so rampant and such an epidemic at this point. It's everywhere. Like Ohio is horrible for this. It has been for well over 5 years at this point. Okay. It's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse every day. So I agree. And again, I'm sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to put that out there as well.
No, I mean, I've been invited up to speak, so I guess I'm interrupting you actually. But
No.
There's I think I'm going to email you this, given the fact that you have a child with ADHD and a little bit on the spectrum, and the ODD, the oppositional defiant. But there was a really good lay article that I read last week, and I actually sent it to one of my young patients.
Okay.
He is dealing with similar kind of thing that you're talking about, and it talks about the I don't remember the percentage, but I want to say something like 10 times the increased risk for addiction in young people who have either they're on the spectrum and or ADD or oppositional defiant, because the brain, for two reasons. One, we know, especially with ADD, ADHD, is that the prefrontal cortex, which is our executive function, our filter, our impulse control, in kids, like your kid is 17, generally runs 4 to 5 years behind. So he's really like a 12-year-old.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Control, inability to filter like good from bad, that kind of thing. And so the risk for addiction and impulsive decision making around drugs and alcohol is hugely increased with young people with with the conditions that you're talking about your child.
Right.
So I want to send that article to you just because I think even if you could read it with him, it's very easy to read. I mean, a 17-year-old could definitely get it.
Absolutely.
It would make an
Appreciate
impact.
that. I deeply appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, because I think we often forget that, you know, especially in the adolescent years, it's not just, oh, there's the culture out there. The bigger culture is sort of what I call wooing, you know, like courting, almost like a courtship of our children. They're wooing with the songs, with the videos, with everything in their ears and their eyes. They're being bombarded constantly with images and temptations and titillations. But then if you have a child that is not neurotypical, like with ADHD, etc., then you're dealing with much more risk. And then as a parent, we have to be that much more vigilant for our children.
Right. Amen. And that's, like I said, that's the psychological, aspect as she's speaking on. She deals in both folks. And that's amazing to me. And you're a wonderful asset to this entire community, Draw. Just so you know, I've always respected you because of that, and I thank you for any bit of what you talk about. So,
well, thank you. I come on instead of my own little channel because I come onto your channel because then I know maybe you can protect me from the trolls. Yeah.
Yes, I will always do that.
Very ugly. It can get very ugly.
Yes, I will always do that.
So I just wanted to put one other thing out there, and that is that, and I can say this because my child is not a child; she's 25 now. I have two children, but she has given me permission to say this. So I am not speaking out of turn. I just want to assure the audience, but she has severe ADHD, and so knowing what I know as a physician, that the studies reveal, as I told you, that kids are 5 years behind, right, with their prefrontal cortex development.
Right.
In terms of learning to drive, the recommendations are that kids with ADHD should wait 2 to 4 years from the age of 16 before they get. I don't know in Ohio, but out here, you can get your learner's permit at age 16.
Right.
And I mean, I know my child was not happy, but I made her wait till she was 18 to maybe 19, and my other child who doesn't have ADHD to get their license. And because we know that the number of accidents is so increased in this particular demographic of kids. So yeah, it was ugly, but I have to say, I think she's already had 2 accidents, little accidents, nothing big, but thank God I waited till she was 18 to let her get her license.
And that's exactly what we're doing. In fact, because I know he's not going to leave home right away. It's probably going to be, I'm going to try to hold him off till he's 19 or 20 because he's chronic, okay, very chronic, and he's not happy either. But I explained to him that I didn't get mine till I was 18. I have ADHD too, very much so, and that's the same thing. I said, I explained it to him to the point where he still is not happy, but he understands that I'm doing it for his own well-being. So that's I'm hoping he sticks to that. And I thank you for making that statement. In fact, I'm going to play this back so he sees that you're saying it as well. So
and I'm going to send you this. There's this great. I know this is. I saw the tip of the pencil, by the way, but I'm just going to say. I keep saying I will say one last thing. It truly is one last thing about.
Yeah.
That there's a magazine for lay people, but I read it all the time. It comes every morning. I get articles, and it's called ADD. That's capitalized Attitude.
Yes.
But it's ADD. But it has things on the spectrum. It has so many interesting, wonderful things for parenting, for clinicians like myself, and for young people. And I mean, the articles are like a quick, literally a 5-minute read at the most. And they have wonderful pictures. And I think your child would, and it's free. You sign up and you get it in your email, but it has so many things. And that's where, if your son did read something about the driving and it's good to wait and why it's good to wait, and that he's not the only one that isn't going to be driving at 16 or 17, I think that he will realize that he is within a community. It isn't just he is alone in this.
Right. That's absolutely correct, ma'am. Yes, I agree with you. That'd be wonderful too. And I will definitely be able to sit and go over that with him. And I appreciate that more than I can explain. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, I see Lana just came up. Is Lana in the chat? I love her.
She is right there. I was getting ready to say, welcome, Lana. Thank you for joining us. It's great to see you, and thank you for that. I appreciate you so very much. Yeah, she's another Ohioan. We like to bounce that back and forth. Gotta love it, and thank you for jumping in tonight, Lana. I appreciate you very much.
I didn't get my license until I was 23. I had no patience.
There you go.
Well, listen, if you have, as I have, ADHD, I have adult ADHD at this point, but it doesn't change, folks. It does the same things to you. I probably don't have it as bad as he does. It was never mentioned that I was on the spectrum, but still, we have enough distractions in our mind as it is, okay? And as a child, when your mind is not developed at that point, to try to throw all the important details that go into driving a huge motor vehicle that is a lethal weapon if it's used in a bad way, okay? It can do very bad harm to people. Take the distractions you have going on in your mind and add the new distractions of being responsible for that vehicle. It's a dangerous situation. And that's how I explained it to him. And thank God, he understood. Again, he's still not happy. I get it. He wants to be like everybody else. I said, but you're not like everybody else, bud. You're different in good ways that makes you a different person, that you have to deal with things a little different, but it's not a bad thing, I said, it'll come in time. It'll be there. Never going to change. You'll always be able to drive a vehicle at some time. It's just not the time. So I agree with that. And I'm glad you brought that up too, Draw. That's amazing. But to jump back to this, guys, look, this is the tip of a pencil, the lead of a pencil. Do you see that minimal amount there? That's insanity to me, you guys. That's how much it takes. That's crazy. Okay.
That is crazy.
It is insane to me that that's all it takes. So if you understand and imagine what these gentlemen were doing that night, they were using cocaine, and I'm going to venture to say that I don't think they used both. I think this was in the cocaine, and that's all they would have needed. So understand, typically when somebody's using that cocaine drug, they do a certain amount of it to get what they want from that. So can you imagine the amount of fentanyl that was probably in that as well, which is how they got to the level that they did. So it was probably almost immediate. And as I explained, Draw, I don't know if you wanted to lean into that a little bit, explain what it does to you. And like I explained from the EMS side of things and what I saw, is that they probably ended up outside because they couldn't breathe and went outside to get air to try to breathe. And you know what happens from there.
Right. So I think that was one of the things that I was just surmising. Of course, I was just speculating because we don't know. But that,
of course, it's all speculation.
With the red hair, this is going to kill me. I can't think of the little girl's name.
It's going to drive me nuts too. I can't.
You know what I'm talking about? It's just going to get me. I'll have to look it up later. But she ran out of the house in her pajamas, I think, and barefooted, and it was cold.
Yes.
Part of what
she was in the same area as Kylie.
Yeah, they found her down in a gully type area. She was spending the night with her friend. God, what is her name? Lord, I hate this.
This is killing me, man. But the thing about her, what I was saying when I was presenting her autopsy, and of course it was all speculation, is I think ultimately she may have died of exposure, but
yeah,
part of fentanyl and other types of drugs, but especially fentanyl, if you can't breathe and you get a rush of heat and this sense of that you're going to lose consciousness, it is an absolute, just like when you have exposure, whether you're hypothermia
or hyper,
you take your clothes off. It's almost like our primal sort of reflex to get our clothes off because we want to get air, we want to get, we want our life. And so I did hear you at the beginning here saying, and I totally agree with you, that probably what happened is these guys took a snort or whatever, however they were doing it, and then they had a sensation that they couldn't breathe, and so that they ran outside, and I don't know if they unclothed or were partially unclothed. I don't know about that, but this is very normal, and that's why when you first presented this case a few weeks ago, when I heard about it through you and Clue, I thought immediately, well, why would 3 people go down like that? And why would they all be outside? And I did think of fentanyl.
Right. Yep. That's where my mind went immediately because of that situation. I think even like I said, even after the show, I spent a couple hours with Sarge, privately talking about it. And I said, Sarge, I can't get it out of my mind that had to be what this was. And, there's no victim shaming in this at all, you guys. And that's one thing that a lot of people were upset about. People do things. Like I said, they were celebrating. They probably wanted to stay up late. So people, back in the old days would go grab a little bag of the white stuff and have what they call a little party and stay up because it's an upper. It keeps you up. Okay. It's different though now than it was then. You could trust it for the most part then. Now you don't know anything. You could get a banana that has this stuff in it, for God's sakes. Nobody knows. Okay. That's why it's better safe than sorry to do nothing like that. If your doctor don't give it to you, don't take it. So stick with the dispensaries, like Draw said. Stay off the streets with things. If you got to do things, don't trust it. There she is. So it's just one of them things, and it's so very scary, for anybody that has any children, teenagers. It's one of the scariest things that goes through my mind on a daily basis. Every time my child walks out that door, I gotta be honest.
It's crazy because it makes you want to homeschool. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
Even an accidental, you
Like I
never
said,
these people today, they're crazy. You don't know if these parents have spilled some on somebody's backpack or water bottle or something. And
right. You can
then your
bump into
kid
somebody.
right. And then they're just living their life. And all of a sudden,
Trinity Bacchus. Boom. There it is.
Trinity Bacchus. Yep.
Thank you, Tomboy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yep, that was it. Sorry, Clue. I didn't mean to jump in like that. I was excited. Yeah, that's exactly, you're right. You could brush against somebody. You could shake hands with somebody. You could use somebody's pencil. You know what I mean? It's it's scary. That's all I can say, guys. It is the absolute scariest thing that I have thought about on a daily basis. Take care, Felicity. Thank you for joining us. Every time my son walks out that door.
I think that
every time.
No, I had a similar kind of crippling, almost literally, I'm not kidding you, man, crippling anxiety when COVID hit. And I was in that time working out in Western Jersey, literally on the front lines. And I mean, people were just freaking dropping. I mean, there were young people they were I had this one patient who was 24, healthy as a horse, and he got the COVID, and the parents saw him, and then he was lying in the bed, and then he was dead. I mean, it was so frightening. So I remember that I was commuting at the time, so I would spend 2 weeks up on the front lines and then 2 weeks on telemed back in Connecticut. And I remember one of my children at the time, she was about 18, 17, something like this. And so I came home from the front lines, and then she came home from school. And I remember, as a joke, I went "Hachoo," making a stupid joke. I don't even remember what the joke was about, but I remember that I breathed hard at her face, and then and she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh," and I realized, oh my God, I could be carrying COVID, and it was just awful. It was in some ways irrational, right?
Oh yeah, I was there too because I didn't understand it. I didn't know the danger of it. You know what I mean? I was petrified.
And I was petrified, but then I started to cry because I was like, oh my God, what if I got my child she's got bad asthma? What if, it was just crippling. And then after that happened, she was so cute. She was like, Mommy, we just have to just go forward. We can't worry about every sneeze and every this and every that. We just have to do the best we can. And I think, and then she sort of shook me to the rational place. But I think this fentanyl is similar. It's Clue was just saying, it makes you want to kind of homeschool, not send your kid out or whatever. But I think we have to sort of find this middle road where we are, as parents and as just people, we are informed, where we can tell our children, no matter how old they are, that what are the risks out there, hopefully have Narcan in your own house, in your car, whatever, and then go forward with courage to live our lives. Otherwise, we'll be crippled and sitting in the corner like I did one night when I came home, from the front lines.
Right.
And it's not a way to live,
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's very sad and very scary. I mean, that's a sad thing. Atlanta just made a statement. It can be looked at as a joking statement, but in a way, if people think that they need to do them, start testing your drugs before you take them. I mean, it's easier
Yes,
said than done,
Lana is totally right, and it's
Right. I
really.
agree.
I do, Lana. I have patients who do, illicit drugs, and they buy them and stuff, and they tell me that they test them. Or I have like teens patients that say when they go to parties, when drugs that are handed out, people test them before they take them. So you're totally right, Lana. It's not a joke. It's
It's the real. These are real life facts, folks. Now this is our life now.
So listen, I don't know if Clue. I don't know if I think you have a child that's in like their 20 early or something like that. I feel like you can test your. Sorry, Clue. What?
18.
Yeah, there you go. So around the late teens. But my daughters really like to go to different concerts, and my daughter said to me, I was shocked, but she's. Tell me if anybody else heard this before, because I hadn't. She said that when certain concerts that they have gone to, there's a room where people. You've heard this?
Yeah.
There's a room where people can go if they want to check out a drug or whatever, and there are like babysitters. I'm going to call them babysitters. I don't know what they're called. There's a word for them in the room that can hang out and observe you while you go on your trip or whatever, and that can call, have the Narcan or whatever. I'm just like blown away. I'm like, what? Because of course, all I used to do is listen to James Taylor and go to those kind of concerts. It was,
I don't see. I get that's a good plan, but I almost think it's almost like an encouragement.
I totally agree. I was really upset to hear. I mean, I was upset to hear that my kids even knew about such a thing, but apparently it's I don't believe my children do those kind of drugs.
It promotes it. Yes, it
I
does.
agree with you, Clue. It promotes it, right?
Yeah, because it's like if you're in a car with no airbag, right? That you better drive safely. But if you're in a car with the airbag, you might get a little loose listening to music or something, I mean, I kind of look at it like that. Like if I think there's someone here that's gonna be able to save me immediately, then sure, I might try this. Especially if someone's like young and impressionable. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and the excuses that they give. We have facilities here, that they bring heroin users in, and they monitor them, and they allow them to use the drugs in the facility as they monitored them and make sure that they're okay.
I've heard of that.
What I don't get is, guys, give me some feedback. I see Lana loves James Taylor. Good. I don't know.
Me too. I'm a huge fan. That's awesome, Lana.
My question to Clue et al. And the little duck there, whose name I don't know either, but have you all heard of this before? Like, I get where if you have a true heroin using and they bring you in to supervise your trip or whatever.
Yeah.
This is a concert that you buy tickets to. Isn't it illegal that they would have a drug room? I mean, what do y'all think about that? I don't know.
Listen, when I was back in my day in the late 80s and early 90s, when I would go to concerts, I mean, there was acid, PCP, whatnot, being passed around all over the place. Okay. And I did my share, I'm not going to lie. I did my things back in my young days. There was no scares with that stuff though. And they did have, I guess, bouncers that would watch people how, just set up for that reason. If you went to a specific concert, I was a huge fan of the band Sublime. I would go to those concerts and there were guys, from my understanding, that would stand and make sure that people didn't drop from what they were doing. And if they did, that was their job. Okay. Now, I guess it's along the same lines, but this nowadays is gone to an extent where I don't agree with it. well, we're doing it to make sure that people don't die because we know they're going to do the drugs to begin with. So why not just give them a place to do it safely? That promotes the usage of this, in my opinion. And I just don't agree with it. That's I
100%.
don't like that at all. Okay.
Well, my question to you guys is that, and I know this sounds, I'm a nerd, so in that way I really never really partied, but so I'm goofy that way. But isn't that kind of illegal to have like a dedicated room for the party? I mean, you would think.
I would think.
That was my question. Like, are there cops in there? Like, because I mean, if you finish smoking like a joint, right, and the car smells like it, the cop can't do nothing to you. He can have like probable cause to search, but if you've gotten rid of the evidence into the air, there's nothing they can do.
Right.
They have to
It's
see
illegal
it.
to possess
So
it, not to do it.
if they, how are they watching these people do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, and how was it legal? I agree.
That's what I'm trying to figure out because, like, I always, let's say, when my children were under the age of 21, if they were to have a drink at my house, I'm like, okay, you can have a drink. Obviously, you cannot go out and drive. But if, like, I always worried because of my medical license, I'm like, I can't have your friends over if they're under 21 and allow you guys to drink with, your friends, because then I can be liable if, God forbid, they go out, they die or something. The parent is liable because we offered illegally even alcohol, right?
Right.
So then that's why I'm trying to imagine in my mind, is Lana, I don't think Jordan should be charged with a damn thing. I don't even know who Jordan is.
That the guy that owned that or rented the house in the
Oh, no, I guess I'm not
don't either.
about that piece of it. I guess I was just talking about minors. And
the minor thing is
what she's saying. Here's the thing. I agree with Lana on this. Like, we've talked about this, me and Clue, multiple times. If this guy knew what happened and he left them out there without calling 911 or something like that, that's different. But I don't feel these are all grown adults that he should be charged with anything.
Exactly.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They made their own decision. Maybe he did it too, and it just didn't. He didn't do enough of it, or something like that. We don't know. The whole rehab theory that he's checked into rehab. He's a professed alcoholic, folks. So he could have went to rehab for that. Okay, not this.
Yeah.
But I was talking about minor children. I wasn't talking about these men. They're adults. They can make their choice. I guess I was talking about minor children under as a parent, like in my home.
Well, I will say to that, Draw, like I'm always on my kid because I'm like, you don't never go anywhere. Like you don't never go to parties. You don't. She like is perfectly fine sitting at the house. You know what I mean? And it's almost a situation where I should probably just shut my yap and be thankful because she isn't out there having the opportunity to possibly be encouraged to do this stuff before she's out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I guess
if I saw that at a concert she went to, me and the venue, we would have a chat because
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. I guess I'm drawing the similarity or whatever the metaphor. I don't know what it's called. Like I'm saying. So as a parent, I'm responsible what happens under my roof with my children, obviously. But if they bring minors into my home and I'm handing out alcohol or whatever, I'm legally responsible. So wouldn't the venue, that's the word, wouldn't the venue be, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to figure this out. Does anybody have any thoughts?
I'm just going to say, where was all this stuff 30 years ago at the beginning of the grunge era in Seattle?
Well, it was...
People died?
This has all been synthetically made at this point, okay? So it's, the chemists out there that are trying to grow the drug trade per se and make more money. They just didn't have it at that time. So here we are. They found. Listen, I played in multiple bands, but I played in a band one time. This is just a real quick story. My bass player in the band was on the fentanyl pain patches. Okay, they're made. They're like they wear them for pain in certain places. He had some form of an injury that he became addicted to it. hence the word band and band members. Okay, it just was part of the thing. But he would take the patches and cut little pieces off, and he would suck on it. And the guy would literally fall asleep while playing the bass on stage because he was so addicted to that stuff. I've watched it. So it's gone from that to these pills, and see, those were prescribed and regulated amounts of fentanyl that were in those patches. That they're like time released in a sense. They would come out so much at a time. It was like a gel. He would cut pieces of it. I would watch him put it in his mouth, and he would suck on it till it was gone. And within 20 minutes, the guy is like zoing. Okay, just little pieces of it. And then it would get more, excuse me, more and more and more because he became immune to the effects of it. But the drug, not exactly, Carolyn. He would literally fall asleep. I don't know how he did it. He would still play his bass and be zoned out completely, sleeping while he's playing, but whatever. But that was the start of it, in my opinion, back then, is what I saw. That was 15 years ago, okay? A little bit more than. And it's now progressed to this point where it's just, they took what they had, they saw what it did, they saw how much people loved it, because opiates became a problem. We know that. A huge problem. And at that point, they realized where the market was, and they've gone to that point. The heroin, all of that stuff, guys, it's all come from that scenario, in my opinion, from what I've seen. And now we're here. And this is where...
Oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but your the story, the longitudinal story of the history of this is, I agree with you. It starts out because right now we can't even get, I mean, I never prescribed fentanyl, but I do have colleagues that work with dying cancer patients, and they have fentanyl for the pain, and they cannot freaking get fentanyl patches even, because there's a national shortage, because I think the drug companies are limiting it, which is sad for the end stage cancer bone patient kind of thing.
It really needed, yes.
It is needed, but the stakes, I guess what you're saying is, from cutting up the little fentanyl patch and sucking on it to making these blue pills that you're showing on the screen today, the stakes are much, much higher. I mean, now we're talking about life and death stakes.
Exactly. And it is, I'll be honest with you guys, I know I've said this time and time already again, it is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'm not in EMS anymore. I haven't been in a few years. I'm glad I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I miss it, but I'm glad I'm not, because it's such a dangerous scenario to be out on the streets and working in that field as a law enforcement official, as an EMS worker, a paramedic, a firefighter, anything that deals in that scenario right now. I'd be scared to death. I'm scared for friends of mine that still work in it. You know, that people double glove and triple glove now, rather than wearing a single pair of gloves when they go to a scene, because they're scared to death. They don't know, especially if it comes in as an overdose. They don't know. So, and again, not only that scenario, but like with our kids and our grandkids and things like that, guys, where is this going to go?
Well, something really reminded me. Do you mind if I tell another story? I mean,
please do. I love listening to you.
Tomboy and Clue are so quiet tonight.
I think they're just listening because it's interesting.
Well, my now 25-year-old, I'm going to say a couple of years ago, because I don't want it to be too specific, was a manager at a food establishment. We're just going to leave it like that. And she came home one day, and I mean, I'm talking about freaking being scared. She said, "Mommy," she said, there was, I guess there were some, okay, I need to be careful. Let's say people that were being trafficked, okay? And the person, the pimp, I'm going to just say it this way, apparently was coming in to have the young woman use the bathroom of this restaurant my daughter was a manager of. And so it got to the point where it was like, no, this is bad, because then the person left a small, tiny baggie on the counter where my daughter was serving. And my daughter, thank God, I am such a neurotic freaking parent, because my daughter had heard all my horror stories, and she said she immediately, like, double gloved, put a mask on, didn't get near the thing, removed it, disinfectant, got rid of it. But I'm like, oh my God. I mean, my kid could have, if she didn't know, here she is, just a, she's at the time 23 years old or whatever, but she's just a freaking manager at a restaurant. She could have died if this had fentanyl and she didn't know how to dispose of it properly. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's a scary situation. Very much so.
So, that's why I think like my kid, she still works in a different establishment where there's not as much, there's not as much risk of the public situation. But I think now after tonight, I think I'm going to tell her she's got to take a Narcan to work with her because, you just don't know.
Absolutely. I'm sorry to hear that, Snooping.
Oh,
there's a lot of stories out there from this. It's taken a lot of young lives way before they needed to be taken. It's an epidemic in my opinion, and it's a problem, guys. And all we can do is to pray for everyone and be diligent when it comes to the situation.
I have two nieces, both die of overdose within a year of each other.
I think it is, Lana. I'm sorry to hear that, Tomboy. I think it is like a lot of these certain patients, depending on what they have. I think it is normal to be on a patch like regularly.
It is.
It wears out. It
just like
out. Yeah.
Change it like every 3 days or something. But yeah, it's normal. But it's crazy though, because if like when they put it on, they have to like rub. It's so serious that like when you put it on, you have to secure it by rubbing the very outside of the square, right? It's just like a little square patch. Because if you touch in the middle, it can give the patient like a super high dose really fast.
Right.
Like it's that serious. Like it's crazy. I can't believe they even give those to people.
Well, now there's a national shortage and my colleagues can't even prescribe it for the people with end stage bone cancer.
And that's sad. That's what's happened. This started, I was on at some point because of my back and neck injury. I was on Percocet 10, 325 for a good couple years until I realized that my doctor wasn't doing anything to fix my problem other than saying, here you go, take this. Here you go, take this. Here you go. No, no, I don't want that. And I even asked him,
oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I even asked him, is there something else we can do? I don't like this. Okay. Yes, it makes me function. Yes, it helps me to do the things that I can't do on a regular. This is not what I want. Can we move forward with this? Well, this is really all we can do. I mean, you can do this surgery, but I can't guarantee this or that and anything else. Okay. I changed my doctor. So
I want to say to Bobby, like, I get the he's talking about Jordan again, right? And he's talking about the legalities of it. Like I was saying, you never know. Those three might have gone outside and done that because like maybe he didn't know about it or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they didn't want him to know about it.
And Bobby said something like he's still responsible for anything that happens on the property. Like, I do agree with that, but at the same time, if you come to my house at 36, 37, and 38 years old, you ought to be able to handle yourself. Why? I should not have to babysit you. Like Draw was saying, right? She would let, you can have one drink. I'm taking your keys. Those are obviously younger people.
Right.
If you are that grown, like, no, I should not have to worry about if you go take something and you don't wake up, then I have to bear the burden of that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
What are you going to do? What do we have to do? Start searching people when they come in our houses? Like for a party?
Right. But we've also heard stories that they left and came back. We don't know. That's possible. They may have left, went and got something, came back, used it while they were out, used it in the car, came in for a minute, started to feel a certain kind of way and ran out the door. They could have used it in the backyard without him knowing. He stated that he fell asleep. So we don't know yet at that point.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody comes to your house, like, are we supposed to be, maybe we should start doing that pupil checks. Like, are they dilating? You know what I mean? Like, but that's correct. I just feel like in that situation, if that's what happened, he had no idea. You know what I mean? I feel like that they did it. Like, they knew what they were doing. They knew
Right.
the risk.
That's right. They made the conscious decision to do what they were doing. They may not have known that the fentanyl was in that cocaine, but that's a risk you take when you go out anywhere to buy anything on the street at this point that's not prescribed by a doctor. So you have to take that into effect. And
I don't even take a lot of that stuff, because when you have ADHD as an adult, you have a 40% more chance of being an addict because of your brain chemistry. And I like to be in control of me.
Oh, yes, girl, yes. Preach.
I agree with that too.
It's just, I can't. I mean, I had double elbow surgery and took nothing except ibuprofen. That was it. Because I can't bring myself to do it.
Well, I agree. I think you're very smart, Tomboy Charm, because, like we were talking earlier, I think the number 40% risk increase is exactly right for addiction. I mean, just the way you're hardwired as a person with ADHD. So you're right not to dabble.
Oh, and I have it bad. Let's just say I have to take 90 milligrams of Adderall a day just to function. Otherwise, I can climb walls.
I've seen that before. And thank God for medication, right?
Yes, agreed.
Yes.
Lana, to that question that you asked, and I'm sure that Draw can probably verify. She asked, like, can someone tell me why someone would be issued a fentanyl patch? Is it for pain? How long should you be on it? And then so on and so forth. I have seen people that are given those for like severe pain, back problems, herniated discs, muscle damage, muscle tissue damage, basically chronic pain. Okay. They used to give, well, like Draw was saying, cancer patients that have bone cancer and things like that. There's another opiate. There's a very strong one before the fentanyl became a problem. That was a problem at the time.
Oxycontin.
Thank you. Oxycontin has been given to cancer patients as well. And that seems to have gone void now. And now we have this fentanyl thing. And that's where it started, literally. And it's gotten to this point now. And a lot of opiate addicts go to that now because it's cheap, it's easy, and it's right there. Everybody can get it anywhere. But the patches, that's why they're given to people, Lana, from my experience, from what I've seen.
I got to drop. There you go.
Oh, I just noticed that. Okay, well, I appreciate you joining us, both of you and Cletus tonight. I hope you guys have a great night. I appreciate your input and your opinions on this very much.
Bye, Draw. Bye, Tomboy. Bye, chat.
Bye.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Cletus.
See you.
Take care, Cletus.
Quiet tonight.
Yeah, I think it was just like I said, interested in listening to what we're talking about. So,
Back to Lana was asking about for me, I think that there is evidence that the big pharma, what we call big pharma, really did push doctors back 20, 30 years ago, starting to prescribe these controlled substances, right? And I think it was really driven. You talked about your friend in the band with the fentanyl patch, but I think big pharma really did feed the national addiction of prescribed opiates. Frankly, the good news, I think, Lana, is that especially I'd say the past 5 to 7 years, in order for me as a physician to prescribe a controlled substance, first of all, not only do you have to have a federal DEA number, and you have to have fingerprints and all that kind of stuff on board, but each state that I'm licensed in, you have to have a state drug controlled substance license as well. And then you cannot prescribe a controlled substance unless you're part of this registry that hooks into all the different states, and that we have to check the usage of our patients before we can even prescribe. So like if I want to, even if it's an ADHD medicine, I have to go into the particular patient's log or whatever, and then I have to look up their controlled history. Of course, it doesn't pick up on drugs that are bought off the street, but let's say that somebody is doctor shopping, which, believe me, I've had people before. I print out their doctor shopping history and I go in the room and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't prescribe this because you've been to 5 doctors in the past 3 months and I can't be part of this.
Right. It happens a lot around here. That's for sure. And
then if you do, God forbid, let's say you're sloppy or something and you just say, well, I'll just give the patient such and such. Everything we prescribe is tracked by the feds and by the state government, right? So this, I think, is, for me, it's a pain in the sense that I have to take like 4 extra steps to prescribe controls, and I've got to check the report and blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, I think it's a really good way to kind of rein in this out-of-control prescribing practices that so many practitioners have just kind of gotten into the habit of doing. So I just wanted to mention that to Lana, especially. Like, I don't know, I think she was talking about somebody that she knows that's using a patch. It's surprising,
right?
Because that person, however she's getting that patch, that practitioner really has to be careful, because if she doesn't have a reason to have the patch and they're not checking on whether she's doctor shopping, that really does put the practitioner at risk for losing their license.
Absolutely. And
we just got over a nationwide shortage on ADHD medicine, whether it been Adderall or Ritalin or whatever. You couldn't get it. It took 3 months just to get 1 bottle. So, and we found out why. It's because when COVID hit and all these parents were having to homeschool their kids, they were taking their kids to, or they weren't even taking them at that point. They were calling doctors and saying, look, he needs medicated, blah, blah, blah. So in turn, when COVID was over, they just kept the kids on the medicine.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy.
And I'm like, really? I had to go through 5 months of testing to be told what I already knew I had.
Right. And Lana, that's the addiction, hun. That's what it does to people. That's how bad it is. That these people feel like they can't live, breathe, anything without having their stuff. And it's sad.
And to answer Lana's question about the one night, would that make you go bonkers?
Yeah.
Yes. And when somebody with an opiate addiction isn't getting their fix, they literally, number one, they start shaking. They think they get itchy. They get picky. They think they've got bugs crawling on them. It can be very, very ugly.
And they get mean.
That is true.
My mom had a friend who was addicted to OxyContin, and she went in the hospital, and they wouldn't give it to her, and she literally beat up a nurse.
I've dealt with people that have been dope sick, as they call it. They call it dope sick, that haven't been able to get their drugs or trying to come off of them, and they literally get sick, physically sick, you guys, to the point that they're throwing up, they're diuretic, or they're having diarrhea, so on and so forth, and they feel like they're dying.
That's withdrawals, but that's with anything. My sister had that with alcohol.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just the withdrawals from people that don't, and some people can't even go one full day without this stuff. Okay. They're that bad. So that's what happens with the addiction. It's so sad. And the sad part is, Miss Lily just made a point there, and she's absolutely right. Like I said, one doctor that I left was a script writer. That's all he did. It's the doctors that are getting, in a lot of senses, they're getting them addicted because they don't look for any other source of solution to the problem. They just write it and walk because they know it's going to bring that person back in 2 weeks or a month.
I think there are still some what I call mills out there, like doctors do prescribe, but I do believe that the state and the feds are so are reining them in because we have so many checkpoints that we have to now go through.
Yes, I
But
agree.
5 years ago, you could just write a script and no, it wouldn't matter.
Right.
But now we must go through these different, almost like firewall kind of things, and we're checked, and we get report at the end of the month. How much have you written? What have you written? Big Brother is looking over our shoulder, and I think in this case, I mean, I'm not much for the government being in my business, but in this case, I welcome it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you're not doing anything wrong, then you have nothing to worry about. You don't do this, But I mean, these doctors, they like that money that comes from the office visits. They like this. They like that. It's easier just to do this. Pill mills, like Lana called it, absolutely. Then you got doc shoppers, like Draw was talking about, that they're looking for some people at some point have had 4 and 5 different doctors getting scripts from these same doctors. You know what I mean?
In the pill mills, like Lana was saying, the pill mill doctors, usually it's an all cash thing. So, it's like it's really like, I hate to say it, it's almost like they're selling drugs in that sense, right?
Absolutely.
Here they have a lot of teaching hospitals, and that's where a lot of your specialists are. And I actually have to go there to see 2 of them. And that's all they want to do is give you pills. I'm like, no, wait a minute. That's my whole point. I don't want to take pills. We need to figure out something else. And they're like, oh, well, we don't have time for that. Well, what the fuck is that time for?
I don't want to get too, please feel free to say none ya business, but is this for your ADHD you're talking about?
No, this is for I go for my RA and my idiopathic intracranial hypotension.
Okay, and so that's outside the scope of my practice. So I can't.
You're in the neurological sense there, so yeah.
Yeah, I see one of the country's top neurologists for what goes on in my head. But the RA doctor, all they want to do is hand you pills. And I'm like, no, I don't want that.
I have seen that. And I mean, the thing with rheumatoid arthritis and some of these sort of immune associated diseases, there's also a huge stress component. So that, one would wish that these rheumatologists would also incorporate mindfulness and other strategies, including clean foods, and that, there are many ways to sort of look at the problem of rheumatologic things. So it must be very frustrating if you feel like they're just making a script and saying bye-bye.
All right. Absolutely. Just checking everything anyway. Did anybody have any specific questions for Draw?
Dago, I'm gonna sneak down too. I'm being beckoned down.
Absolutely. Thank you for jumping up, Tomboy. I appreciate you.
Real people are downstairs and want to speak to me.
Bye, Tomboy.
You guys have a good night.
You too, hon. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us tonight again. But yeah, guys, this is a problem. Now, going back to this other scenario, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to this tonight, Draw?
No, I'm gonna hop off soon as well. I hope you feel like you're being dumped by everybody.
No, it's okay. I have a couple other things I'm going to play, and then we'll be probably ending it for tonight anyway. But
I hope that this conversation has been fruitful for people. I mean, it is really frightening, but I found it somewhat fruitful. Just to discuss all the different aspects of it.
Right. I'm very grateful that you were here tonight. It was just perfect that you showed up in the chat, and I'm grateful for any time you're here. I always love hearing your insight into any of these things that we cover.
Oh, well, thank you for having me up. I usually just sort of lurk and listen.
Right. No, I appreciate you so very much. Please understand that.
Thank you.
I think most of the community does as well, Doc. You're a breath of fresh air when almost all the time. And then the things that you can add to conversations are a great asset to this entire community. So I thank you for that always.
Oh, well, thank you. And I just wanted to give a shout out, Doctora. How can I report? Oh, let her patch it up.
Right, right.
Hilarious.
I mean, if you're
okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, me personally, if you fear for her life or her health, you just got to do what you got to do at that point, Lana. If this is somebody you're close to, but you know, go ahead, draw, because it's a tough.
No, I agree. I mean, I think if you think this person, I guess the way I would handle it is you can't report it because you know what? So many people are doing it. Whom would you report it to?
Right.
The one thing. Oh, thank you. The one thing that you could do, Lana, isn't, I don't know if this is a virtual friend or a real life friend, so to speak, but if let's say it's a real life friend, you could do an intervention where you, and I've done that before, believe me, even with people in real life where I've said, oh my goodness, this is really out of control. And I do an intervention. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they're like, F you, I hate your guts, and you're just too nosy. Other times, like, I think I do need help. I'm ready to take the next step. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think the best thing that you could do, Lana, especially to sort of, I hate to say wash your hands of it, but obviously this is really bothering you from the comments that you've made.
Right.
Is to, if this is a virtual or a real friend, I would just lay it out. I would just say, I need to get this off my chest. I am very concerned about your abuse of X, Y, and Z. I believe that you're addicted, and how what can I do to help you get help?
Right. That's I agree. Like that's probably the best scenario in my opinion.
The other thing that sometimes works, folks, is let's say somebody, now Lana's case with this individual sounds like it's extreme, where the person really could not probably detox, easily by themselves.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't want to send somebody off send them to the wolves doing something like that. That's going to be definite supervision. I agree.
No, and on a serious note, if you're going to do the intervention, well, I guess since I'm a physician, I have done interventions even with people not at all involved in my practice. I mean, I'm the kind of person which I mean, I've got the phone numbers ready. I'm like, okay, we can do inpatient, we can send you outpatient, depending on what it is. I've even offered to go to like an Al-Anon meeting, like with people that are alcoholic, and say, look, I'll take you to your first meeting. We can go together to an open meeting, so that I've offered that for people I don't know barely at all that live in the neighborhood or whatever, because. But I agree with you, Ms. I don't have my glasses on.
Miss Lily C.
Oh, Miss Lily C. Okay, Miss Lily C. You have to walk the walk. You can't just fire yourself up. But if Lana's person is she doesn't know her because it's through her channel, then I think that she would become violent.
She seems to be married to her lies.
You know what? Then it's not worth it, Lana. Then you just have to back off and say, you're, as somebody, I don't know who it was earlier, I think it was you, Dago, said, say prayers. And I mean, I do believe in prayers, that give them.
What else do we do, guys? I mean, now I will agree. Carolyn has mentioned this twice now, that if there's children involved in a situation like this, you gotta use your mind and just what is the best thing that you can do for the kids? Okay. If this is a close friend of yours and you really care about this person, then you got to do what you got to do. You reach out to people that you think can do something for her and step back and let them handle the situation if they're going to.
Well, the thing is, Caroline I need to ask her, are you the same person that up until about a month ago was Caroline Miller? I mean, because I used to think there was an R at the end of that, or maybe
that's the same one. Yes, that's her.
Okay. But I agree. If there are children involved, then really we're all sort of mandated you have to call CPS.
Right.
That anonymously. And the thing is that sadly, the CPS often just listens to the story and they're like, oh, it doesn't meet our threshold. We're too busy. Basically they're so overwhelmed.
Sadly, you're right. That's very sad but true.
I do. Okay, there are children, but I'm going to let God guide her. Okay, you have to make that decision ultimately.
Right.
For
Right.
me, Lana, since I'm like a mandated reporter, I have to bite the bullet, and sometimes I do have to call CPS. But sadly, I can tell you, even when there's SA involved with patients in my practice, there are known phenomenon, and I've called. I am an MD, which is a medical doctor, and I practice family medicine and psychiatry. Now, a psychologist is not an MD. So I do psychotherapy, I prescribe medications, and at this point in my career, I'm just practicing psychiatry. If you want to tell me, that's cool. I so enjoy my granddaughter. Oh, forensic psychology. That's really good. Okay, so the difference between psychology is usually a PhD versus an MD for psychiatry.
I've always had interest in the forensic psychology. I've
Oh
always
yeah, it's fascinating.
criminal psychology. That's one of the things that drew me into this stuff, because to understand what goes through the minds of some of these people is always enthralled me. Always.
It has. I just wanted to finish and say, sadly, in about, let's say, 10 years ago, I had a couple of cases of children who they were having SA, and I reported, obviously, the police, and I reported to CPS, and they were like, well, we see so much of this, it just doesn't meet our threshold. I'm like, but the good news is I did my due diligence. I did the best I could, and I reported it to 2 authorities, and thank God, where I was practicing before, the police took things really, really seriously. So CPS didn't want to pick it up. Believe me, the police were willing to pick it up. She's living with her parents, so I'm hopeful that they're not buying her lies. Can you wear a patch on your butt? Oh, yes.
You can wear it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
I mean, typically people will wear them in the realm, from what I've seen, of where the pain is for the most part, but you can put them anywhere. That's I've seen people put them here, back here, on the back of their neck. The one on the back of their neck really got me. But yeah, I've seen that too. It is very common to wear them there, though, because of the absorption rate, from what I've understood. I that's all I know about that. Slightly, I can't give you facts on it. I'm not an MD or anything, so.
But I think that this person, Lana, let me just ask you: have you ever said even something like, something's going? Oh my God, Lana, Jesus, this is getting worse. This is getting worse and worse. I don't mean to laugh, but this is.
I get it, though.
This is gallows humor here, but whatever. Okay, so is this a real life person or a virtual friend?
I'm guessing it's real, because
real life. Well, I mean,
and here's my thought, though, is if somebody's using this long enough, I might be wrong. Correct me if I am, Draw, but if you start to become immune to the effects of the drug itself, then people are going to
escalated use.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I think the only thing, what the problem is, Lana, and I did have this happen one time, that I did an intervention. Oh, she tried to tell me. Yeah, I remember that Thrive stuff. I
don't know anything about that. Sorry.
So here's the gig. Now I forgot my train of thought. Oh, shoot.
About Thrive?
No, it was about. Oh, yes, I did an intervention once, and the person flipped out on me, and I thank God that they were fairly long distance, so that I just had to hear their tirade through my ear. But I do think that there is always some measure of risk if you're going to do an intervention, or even if you're going to bring up that you think the person has a problem.
Right.
And if they are, labile, like up and down, very brittle with their reactions to things, why put yourself in the way? So, I mean, I think in this case, if you think that she might turn violent on you, then no, you have to weigh out the risks and the benefits to you, and then you have to offer it up. And I mean, I'm the kind of person that believes that I believe the Holy Spirit can give us a wisdom and good counsel and patience, all that kind of stuff. So offer it up and ask the Holy Spirit to bring her some peace and wisdom, and tickle her mind a little bit about it.
Amen to that. Yes, ma'am. I do agree.
So I think I'm going to jump off. I hope I didn't hijack your.
Oh no, it was wonderful. I wanted you to be here. I'm absolutely grateful again. Thank you for all your insight on every bit of this. It was amazing. I think everybody in the chat is very grateful as well. Always good stuff when you're up here. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All I'm gonna jump back into your chat now.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much.
It's good to see you, Diego. Okay, bye.
Bye. Again, Draw, thank you for joining us tonight. Whoa, I don't think you guys want to see me that close up. Here we go. Oh, that's even worse. What did I do? Sorry, guys. Hold on. Boo. There we go. I must have done something in here. Anyway, I'm close. Hi. So anyway, my apologies, guys. Again, Draw, thank you for giving us your insight into all these things, and it's just been very helpful to understanding the scenario with this case as to what could possibly have happened. Helping people to understand what the drug itself can do is very important as well to understand this case. I was trying to show you guys something else I had downloaded for you as well. Hold on a minute. Yoy. What did I do here? Hold on. Good Lord, I can't wait till this new monitor comes in. Or this new cord comes in for this monitor. Okay, there's that. Now let's try this again. Thank you again, Tomboy. Cluminati, thank you for jumping up. You and Cletus both. I appreciate your guys' input as well in this. Always. Okay, here we are. Let me see here. Now, understand something, folks. This is the preliminary toxicology report. This is just like the starting gate for this. There could be so much more to this, okay? I think maybe this is just a thought. I don't know for a fact, but this is just a thought that maybe they rushed this to see what was in there, what was involved, because I know the family was pushing about Jordan and possibly wanting charges to press and so on and so forth. So I think maybe they may have pushed it to look into that side of things to see if he was responsible for anything. I could be wrong. I'm just saying that's something that, you know, could be a possibility. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to fix that. That's a little bit better there. Okay. But I don't know. Don't quote me on that. That's just a thought. So let me give you something, a couple other things to look at here. This goes along with this as well, guys. So hang tight. There we go. Hold on a minute. Sorry, folks. I don't know what I'm doing here or why I'm doing this stuff. What is going on? Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. There we go. Good Lord. Why is this doing this? I did something to my screens. I know. Sorry, folks. All right. Let's try this again. We'll go with that for right now.
Dr. Jeffrey Swisher, chairman of the Department of Anesthesiology at California Pacific Medical Center. Dr. Swisher, thanks so much for joining us. So we're still awaiting what the results of these toxicology reports are. We heard possibly cocaine. There's a lot of people who've been focusing on the possibility of fentanyl because these three appear to have just walked outside. One was found sitting in a lawn chair. How quickly would a fentanyl overdose happen in a person?
Well, fentanyl is one of those medications which gets a lot of news because unfortunately there's a lot of misinformation about fentanyl and how it's used and how it's ingested. Unfortunately, a lot of substances that are bought on the street are contaminated with fentanyl, either purposefully or not purposefully, and people don't know that they're taking it. Fentanyl is a narcotic. It's a short-acting, very potent narcotic. It's much more potent than morphine or heroin is. Fentanyl, depending on the route by which it's ingested, can work immediately, or if it's ingested orally, it can take a longer time to take effect.
Right.
So we're speculating as to whether fentanyl is in there or not, but you don't have to have fentanyl. It could have been like you hear polysubstance abuse, and if you look at Heath Ledger, or you look at Matthew Perry or Whitney Houston or Tom Petty or Prince, all these people were engaging in polysubstance abuse. And
polysubstance meaning they were taking a lot of things. There wasn't just
correct.
one thing found in their system.
Exactly. Ativan, Ambien, cocaine.
Ketamine.
Ketamine, in the case of Matt Perry, exactly. Just keep in mind that even though they said that the cause of death of Matthew Perry was ketamine, Matthew Perry fell asleep in a hot tub because of ketamine and he drowned.
Right.
Not that the ketamine is what killed him, but it was the proximate cause of his death.
So that leads me to this question. The fourth man who was renting the house, named Jordan Willis, says he spent 2 days sleeping on the couch. He has now reportedly checked himself into rehab, saying that this whole experience has been a, quote, wake-up call. Could he also have been suffering from the same effects of whatever drug or drugs the three victims who died took? They just happened to be outside when they succumbed, and he was fortunate enough to be inside and not in freezing cold?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, unfortunately, these medications are essentially anesthetics. It's what I do for a living. I mean, you give people enough anesthetics and they'll fall asleep. And these drugs are additive in their effect. And so, again, similar to Matthew Perry, he didn't die necessarily because of the ketamine. He died because he drowned in a hot tub. These men died because they fell asleep in sub-zero temperatures and they developed hypothermia and froze to death. So that's the cause of death is hypothermia, but as a result of intoxication with multi-substances, which cause them to stop breathing, fall asleep, essentially.
The whole group had been partying and watching the football game together leading up to this. Neighbors say they saw the men going into the house with 2 30-packs of beer. Could alcohol also have played a role in all this?
Absolutely. I mean, alcohol alone could have played a role in this. If you drink enough, you will fall asleep. And so it's just intoxication to the extent where you pass out, and you do that in, again, sub-zero temperatures. I'm sure that's happened, many times in history. Fishermen or people out in the cold fall asleep from drinking too much and then develop hypothermia. It doesn't take long to die from hypothermia.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately the case.
Bottom line, in many of these cases, a drug or alcohol and drugs or alcohol alone may have caused them to fall asleep or pass out, but it's the cold that killed them.
Yeah, the cold that killed them. And, exposure and hypothermia, again, as you develop hypothermia, your respiratory rate decreases, your metabolic rate decreases, and eventually you will have a cardiac arrest from, hypoxia and not breathing.
I assume this is why we haven't gotten the autopsy report yet then, that toxicology is in, but the autopsy is not?
Right. Toxicology, they say it takes 6 to 8 weeks, but, if you have a good sample of blood, or sometimes they take fluid from the vitreous of the eye, depending, wherever it comes from, this can be done almost immediately. It's a gas chromatography, or there's other laboratory tests. Autopsies are a physical examination of the body, and it takes not a pathologist a period of time to do it. And they want to be complete.
Okay. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of
Sorry, I was muted. There's another side to that too to think about, that it could have been the hypothermia that got them. We don't know 100% because the cause of death has not been released at this point. Lana, I agree with that. 60 beers between that many guys, that's really not a lot. I agree with that, especially if they're used to drinking it. So, I think what a lot of people are questioning at this point, and I question myself. I don't personally, because I've seen a lot of the comments on different channels and different channels putting different things out. I've seen a lot of people saying that they think that Jordan Willis, because of his job and his knowledge, made something and gave it to them. I'm gonna say that I don't think that's gonna be what's found. I don't think that at all. I think that they were partying, they were celebrating the fact that Kansas City did what they did. Right. That's what I agree with that too, Draw. I very much do. Especially if it was found in their blood system. That's based on my experiences. That's what I think it is. But excuse me. I think that they're not going to find that Jordan had anything to do with this. Okay. And maybe he did it. Maybe he didn't do it. Like I said, he was a self-professed alcoholic. He said this was a wake-up call. Obviously, that's a problem as well. It's very sad. I don't think he nefariously did anything because, again, guys, he bought tickets for the next game for them all to go together. He's known these guys since high school. They were best friends. I don't think that this man purposely did anything to hurt his friends. I don't. Okay. I think it was just the bad luck situation that these guys went and got something. They wanted to continue partying. They wanted to stay up late. They took something. They didn't know what it was in it. They didn't know what it was. And this was the end result. It's very sad for their families that they're gone at this early young age. It's sad in a nutshell. Like I said, thank you, Zelda. I think that when everything comes back, when it's all said and done, the cause of death is very likely going to be a cardiac event, in my opinion, possibly with the added addition of hypothermia at the end. But I think it's all going to be due to the drug ingestion that they had. Take care, Lana. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you jumping in tonight and being involved in chat and with your questions and your comments and all that. Thank you very much. Have a great night, hon. Absolutely. Thank you. She says, I'm going tonight. Love you all. Prayers to all struggling with any drugs or demons of their own. No judgment ever. Everyone has a story, and I just wish everyone the very best. Thank you for that very much, Lana. And I wish you the same. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you again soon. You too, dear. Absolutely. It's crazy how the families were saying they weren't users and hardly partied, and that's very possible according to them, JC. When I would do things back in the day, my mom and dad, nobody in my family knew what I was doing. I didn't want them to know. I was ashamed of the things I was doing, obviously. I don't want judgment from my mom and dad. I don't. They're gonna, if they find out the things I'm doing, they're gonna say something to me. It's a good question too, Sherry. Did they test Jordan's blood? I don't know. That's a great question, actually. And if that's the case, I'm sure we'll find out that too as well. It's interesting. It's very interesting, you guys. I do feel that if it comes back and we find that, he has that in his system as well, maybe he just fell asleep, didn't go outside, and you know what it is. Just saying. Again, she says, great job, mods. As always, everyone in chat, you're all awesome. Even Gray, blessings to all. Thank you, Lana, very much. Have a great night, and I'll speak with you soon, hon. What did Chief say? I'm trying to catch it up here somewhere. I shrunk my thing down for some reason. Okay. Christopher Bond. You might have missed this. I did, actually. It's flying. I'm sorry. Due to the rapid chat, but to differentiate between hypothermia as the primary factor, we would look for pulmonary edema or lack thereof. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That's a great point. What he says is very true. Very true. Great point, Christopher. Great point. Thank you. I love when people come in here that have the knowledge that they have and they put out great points. Thank you for that, sir. Let me see. Amethyst Noor, great to see you tonight. Let me see here. I'm so sorry. I see a lot of people speaking about loved ones passing from overdoses and whatnot. Every one of you has every bit of my condolences. It's a very hard thing. Very hard thing. Thank you, Christopher. You are appreciated, my friend. Very much so. Candy's got a good point, too. Candy says, I think the police may have already known the whole story, and Jordan was under the influence, and that's why they said that they didn't believe there was foul play. Great point, Candy. Thank you. That does make some sense. Let me see. Well, here's the thing, Zelda. Normally, cocaine does do that to you. It's an upper, okay? It makes you zing and feel great, supposedly, okay? But if it's mixed with something else that brings you down in a way, and that's a struggle too, you know? I've never done those, so I can't give you an answer wholeheartedly that I don't know the experience, you know? But what I know of them, that's what I can tell you. Let me see. Of course, and that's what's going to come. It's already been there, Annie, and it kind of bothers me a little bit. Like I said, I know people get angry because they've lost somebody. I get it, but we got to step back and use common sense when these things happen and go, okay, what really happened? What could have really happened? Okay. You know, we can't automatically blame him because it's his home. That's just fact, folks. Yeah, I'm good, Twizzle. I promise you I'm good. I don't need that, don't want that, will never do that. So I'm good. Heather says that she's talking to Amethyst Noor. Says that the entire subject is sad. I'll always do my best to advocate, though. It's needed now more than ever. Amen, Heather, and thank you for that. Person to person, human to human, you know, thank you for being that person, Heather. That's so very important. And we need more people that will do that, you know? So, you know, it's up to us, guys. I always say this, we're the same brothers and sisters, no matter how much we say and we don't like each other or we do. We're all we got, folks. We're all the same brothers and sisters under the same God. Okay? Not to go religious on anybody. I'm just saying we got to be there for each other. We're all we got, guys. And if we don't, who's going to? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's kind of what I gathered as well, Val. It makes sense. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's just it is sad. This whole story is sad. It's been sad from day one. I think some people, you know, we have to look at it from the other side of things. Jordan Willis lost 3 of his very best friends. The families of these guys lost their fathers, or their fathers, their brothers, their sons, their cousins, their uncles. They're gone because of one night and one mistake. It's sad. In the end, it's sad for everybody involved. It is, okay. You know, I'm gonna speak from deeply, folks. I do not believe Jordan had anything to do with what happened to them. The only thing I had questioned ever was, did he know and maybe got scared because he didn't know what to do? Okay. But at this point, I don't even believe that. You know, I think that he was, like he said, he drank a lot, did whatever he did to, fell asleep, and it happened. That's the only thing that I can come to a conclusion with, folks. That makes sense to me. Now, I could be wrong when we get the actual complete toxicology and autopsy and all that. I could be wrong. There could be charges filed. Who knows, guys? I'm just telling you, I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. That's just my opinion. But this is what we know as of now, guys. And it's very sad. Very sad. My deepest condolences go out to the families of the victims, every one of them. I can't stress that. This is just it's just not something that had to happen. It was based off of probably one decision that each one of these guys made, and unfortunately, it was fatal. So they'll have my prayers and thoughts with them from here on out, you know, and God bless, rest in peace, the victims. And guys, from here on out, all we can do as a whole is just to pray for all of us that we're all safe from these things. And again, pray for the families, keep them in your thoughts and your feelings. You know what I mean, guys? It is, in my opinion, the only thing we can do at this point. Does anybody have any questions or comments or theories or anything at this point? Lord have mercy. I need my computer fixed. Yeah, that's kind of what my thought is too, a little bit. Amethyst. Agreed. Same, exactly, Heather. I do feel that way too. You know, in a sense, I do too, Candy. Like I said, if he had no clue about this, really, truly, I feel bad for him too. Like, he lost a lot too. And this is not gonna go away. He's never gonna forget this. This happened in his home. You know, that's something that we have to remember as well. So keep that in your mind as well, guys. There absolutely is, JC. That's correct. I got a call from my daughter, CNA, working on her LPN. Daddy, come pick up emergency. I was watching grandsons at the time. Greg, I'm so sorry. You have my deepest condolences, my friend. God bless. That's so sorry. So horrible. I am so sorry. So sorry. There's no amount of words that can make that any better. Just please know, like I said, that you're in my thoughts and prayers as well, Greg. So horrible. Welcome, Walt. Good to see you, sir. All right, guys. I think that's gonna be the end of it for tonight. I want to thank everybody that joined me on panel tonight. Of course, Clue and Cletus, Tomboy Charm. Thank you for joining us as well. Always a pleasure when Draw Latina joins us. Thank you for Lana for joining chat with us tonight. That was a nice experience. I appreciate everybody that's been here with us tonight in chat. Going on. It was a great show. We learned what went on in Kansas City, and we learned some other things as well, guys. And if anybody has any questions about anything we talked about tonight, feel free to get a hold of me. I will give you every answer I possibly can and set you in the right direction if I can't give you the answer. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Everybody on panel, once again, thank you. Anybody that's donated to the channel to support the channel, God bless and thank you so much for that. It definitely is not something expected, but God knows I appreciate it with every bit of me. Besides that, moderators, amazing job as always. Thank you so very much. And much love to everyone. And guys, please don't ever forget. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other. And don't ever change a thing about yourselves because you are the beautiful people. God bless everybody. And I will see you all on the other side. Bye-bye.